Well, hello everybody, and welcome to the show today. Glad to have you here. This is what is today? The 24th of July. Yes, a Sunday. Hopefully, you guys had yourselves a good weekend. I know mine was quiet. I did go up to the city once, I guess, but mainly I stayed home and just enjoyed looking at watching Raptor play the new game Farthest Frontier City Builder. I'm looking forward to. Uh, August 9th, I guess it comes out. So I'm looking forward to playing that. But I had a quiet, nice, happy weekend. It's a little overcast today, so I guess I'm going to get some rain, but hopefully you guys had a better weekend. Nevertheless, we're definitely going to get into some interesting things here today. It is weird to see all of the real tryhards in the various entertainment industries really trying to show off their ultimate diversity, even though we're getting pushback on the other sides in some really good ways. I didn't bring it up to show, but I thought I'd talk about it here in a little bit in the beginning. But this weekend, I went and watched the suggested to me Everywhere, Everything, All the Time, or whatever it's called, with Michelle Yeoh. and My wife and I got through about 15 minutes of that until we noped out. I was like, "Oh my God, this is horrible." But I suppose you guys are reading subtitles with that. We kind of understand the Chinese, and especially my wife, she's 100% fluent. And we're very accustomed to the Hong Kong cinema, which you guys might know some kung fu stuff, but we're quite accustomed to it. And yeah, it's not good. I know everyone's praising it and saying, "Oh, that's amazing." Now it's really bad. But the good thing is, we noped out of that and we went looking for something else to watch, and we ran into an absolute gem. And this is kind of what I mean. We've been seeing some things like the Terminal List. Brad Pitt was really good. I enjoyed it quite a bit. But I found something even better, and I'm kind of wondering if you guys watched it because it's called The Old Man. And my goodness, dude. Wow. I mean, that thing, uh, that is some of the best acting I've seen in a very long time. I mean, Jeff Bridges, of course, awesome. John Lithgow, masterclass. It's just such a good show. If you haven't seen it, go watch that. And that's what TV should be, right there. There you go. That's how you do that. And Unfortunately, we get a lot of really ungood stuff. But Let's see here. I'm going to go over and hit that like button and share. Hopefully, you guys will do the same, so we can get folks in here to enjoy the show with us. Let's see here. Okay, I do my typical thing. There we go. Excellent. I see Dave and Roger are already here. Appreciate you guys. Let me go ahead and pop you guys out and bring it back over the other side. Excellent. There we go. Let's see here. What is Dave says, here we are. I like Michelle in Wong Chong period kung fu flicks. Yeah, sure. Jack Chan gave her career, and he obviously saw something in her, and he was right. Um, Stupid Newfie. Slog to the Resident Evil series last week, watching the Terminal List now. Well, I'm sorry about you having to slog through the Resident Evil, dude, because that is bad. It's like really bad. So I couldn't possibly make a slog through that. It's like it's literally a bunch of people sat down and said, "Let's make Resident Evil," and they knew nothing about Resident Evil, and they like, well, there's like zombies or something, and this T virus, and but we should have girls talking about how angsty they are and who they love and dating stuff. So perfect Resident Evil. Dave says that's what my whole family calls my father, the old man. Yeah. Um, well, I'm telling you, it's only 7 episodes in season one, but it's absolutely killer. I mean, Jeff Bridges is a great actor anyway. You're always safe with him. John Lithgow is literally a masterclass in acting. It's that simple. He's amazing every moment he's on the screen. Everyone does a really good job. It's a solid story. Yeah, I could not possibly recommend The Old Man more. It's really well done. Roger says the best kung fu movie is 60 Second Assassin. That's right there in a gem and nothing short of classic. Yeah, no, there's some great kung fu movies, dude. There are. Um, without question, I love Lightning Sword and Thundering Mantis. Those are really good. The Five Deadly Venoms, the Five Fingers of Death, stuff like that. There's some really really good ones. I'm just this new Michelle Yeoh movie. Well, like I said, we only watched the first 15 minutes, but it was so bad. It's so typical Hong Kong. We just had no interest in having to, as you said, Newfie, slog through it. It was, oh my God, dude. It was, I know we know exactly what's going to be. We've seen it 1,000 times. It's the Jackie Chan formula they've been doing for decades. Yeah, no, thank you. Yeah, no, thank you. But The Old Man, however, was really, really well done. And my point is, they're far and few between. We were starting to see some pushback with some really good acting stuff, which is the intention with good storytelling. It doesn't matter who's in it. It doesn't matter what color they are. We just want good stuff, right? And actually, The Old Man's got it is quite diverse. Actually, it's got a bunch of different peoples in it. So there you go. You can do both. Nevertheless, hopefully we'll get a couple guys show up and pop in here with me for the show. I do have some interesting things to talk about, but I tell you what, when I went to go check on setting up the show and what to talk about, my goodness, dude, just another week of so much noise and nonsense, so much stuff. It's just everything and is about canceling mainly the white man is what's being canceled, but just all kinds of absolute nonsense, and it's not going to be any good. Like Resident Evil, they're going to just make it all about politics and not care one bit about storytelling, and that's not what we want. You know, Even if they were doing that, but they were creating good writing, at least it would be better, I suppose. But it's my goodness, dude, so much, so much, and I don't know. I guess it's got to get worse before it gets better, I suppose. I have noticed that no one is talking about Ukraine at all in quite a long time. I do keep a look on it, and the West pouring weapons in there is certainly taking Russia more time to collect all those weapons. So, I guess they're slowing them down in that way. The Russian economy is doing great, just wonderful. So that didn't work at all. And the West is basically forcing Russia to take all of Ukraine. So, oh well, I guess that's what they got to do. That wasn't their intention, but it is. Dave says, it's everything everywhere all at once, Chester. Life imitates art. Yeah, no, it's dumb. Yeah, no, it's not good. So I'm glad you know the name. I could care less. It's just another, nonsense Hong Kong schlocky crap with just Michelle Yeoh thrown on top of it and the American actor who plays all the Asian roles. I mean, I love him in Big Trouble in Little China. He's awesome. But he's the guy who plays everything: Japanese, Korean, Chinese, whatever they need an Asian for. They slap that guy in it. So yeah, yes, you got those two guys, and that's that. I guess that's the drawing power. But yeah, I no no, it's just that typical, everything's so chaotic. It's moving so quick. Ooh ooh ooh, life is chaotic. Oh, okay, all right, okay, Hong Kong, relax. You just guys don't understand. We've been inundated with this for decades. Decades. There's a lot of stuff you don't see. You get the Jackie Chan movie that comes out, and you watch that, and maybe a Jet Li movie, or maybe if you're really really knowledgeable, Chow Yun Fat, of course. But other than that, you're seeing the tip of the iceberg, right? Uh, Stupid says that the Gray Man was a dumb action flick, but entertaining enough. Hey, fair enough. That's all it really needs to be. So maybe I'll check it out. I saw it pop up. I just I'm not the first person to jump on a Chris Evans movie, but hey, if it's just dumb action, I'm fine with that. I mean, did you guys see the trailer for the John Wick 4? Looked fun. Looked a lot of fun actually. And this time he's got an army behind him. Uh oh, watch out. It could be, and that's what it should be. Just make fun movies, right? If you want to do something deeper, fine, do that, but make sure the story is really tight and you have some really great acting. Go ahead. But mainly people want popcorn shellac, right? And John Wick is definitely that. Hopefully, The Gray Man. I'm sure I will check it out. Although, to be honest with you, I still haven't watched the Doctor Strange movie. I just can't bring myself to do it. I'm certainly not going to watch the new Thor movie. I think I'm kind of done with Disney, to be honest with you. I'm done with Marvel. I'm done with Star Wars. Absolutely done with Star Wars. I mean, no way. It's done. I don't want to hurt my memory of and love of Star Wars as a child anymore. I just don't want to. I mean, that's just self-flagellation. That's freaking masochistic, dude. I mean, why would I do that, right? So I think when it comes to Disney, I'm kind of out. However, we do see some other companies trying to put some stuff out, so hopefully things will turn and we'll get more and more. And I think that's the problem with the industry being inundated is it's okay if you want to make this kind of woke stuff. If there's some people who like that and all that kind of nonsense, you go right ahead. Just give us a balance. Let us have some stuff that we like as well. And it's been a while, but like I said, I've seen a couple of things that were pretty good. So we're starting to get a little more of that balance back, which is nice. Let's see here. Alrighty, well, that's everything. I'll give it a couple more minutes and see if anybody comes in today. It is a Sunday night. I don't know if you guys had anything going on this weekend special. Was it a holiday? July 24th? I don't think so. I'm back to my normal week, so that's good. Anyway, I guess I can come over and I can start talking about the board game stuff I want to talk about. So let's do that. Alrighty. Okay, here we go. Now I've talked about Star Realms before and Wise Wizard and their stuff. This is a new Kickstarter they put up. I just figured I'd show it as another expansion. Look how much money they're making. It's popular, and they still got 18 days to go on it. Now, Star Realms is a deck building game. I would say it's like the quintessential deck building game, right? It's exactly what it should be. Just take a look again. Like I said, I've showed it before, but you got a collection deck, and you have your basic stuff, and you're trying to make your deck bigger and stronger with ships and skills and planets and gear and all kind of stuff, and you're trying to knock out the other opponents. Initially, it's a two-player game, but it's been evolved into a multiplayer game now. Um, I don't know how good a multiplayer it is. I've spelled Hero Realms is their fantasy version. I played multiple people and it's okay. It's okay. I think it's better as a two-player game though. It's really smooth and it hits really hard. It's fun. It's a fun game. But anyways, a new expansion which is adding more multiple play to it, as well as like a campaign mode, which is neat. And pretty simple little thing. It's not very expensive, really. Yep, $30. They got some other stuff. You could pick up some past stuff as well. But Star Realms is a really fun game, and if you have it, you should add to it. If not, you could probably pick the whole thing up here from Mr. Dougherty and his company. They have a bunch of expansions, excuse me, a bunch of unlocked stretch goals that have come through here. Nice little ships and art, and if you play the game, you know what you're looking at here. These are just extra little cards single cards that add some ability to the game, damage or getting more resources, and of course bundles and things like that where you can see get the whole game. Yeah, if you never get into it, got into it, I think it's really a great way to do so. They also have some of the other stuff from Wise Wizard. They got RoboQuest Arena, which I've never played. They have Kapow. I don't know that either. Her Realms is pretty good. Epic is weird. Sorcerer is like a classic. So you can pick up a whole bunch of stuff from their company here, so it's a good one-stop shop, right? Oh, look at that. They even have damage dials and stuff like that. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, but I put this up here just simply because, if you've never got into Star Realms, this is the way you can get into it pretty heavily for, get a lot of stuff for cheaper. It's really a cheaper way to shop on Kickstarter with these kind of things. And usually, if the project's doing really well, you can get some really good extra deals and a lot of extra stuff, and it just becomes more valuable, more value overall. And if you look here, of course, this is $365,000. It's doing really well for an expansion. Keep in mind, this is just an expansion, but it's really, really popular. Another thing to think about if you come over here and you do some comparison, this is their store at Wise Wizard Games. And you can look through all the stuff here, and you can see all the different games like Heroes Realm, Star Realms, of course, Epic Card Game, Sorcerer, some of the bundles they got, and you compare the prices. You'll see that this is actually a cheaper way to go if you're interested in getting into the game. And that's one thing I know some people complain about this when it comes to Kickstarter because they think it should be for people who are unknown and just looking for an avenue to put their new IP out. And there's a lot of people in the crowdfunding realm who are pretty sticklers about that. I'm not. I think it's a great way for big companies to promote themselves, to put out these kind of sale deals and make some money. I'm 100% for it. And I think, especially when you see like Queens or here with Wise Wizard or any of the big companies, Fantasy Flight or what have you, when they put these Kickstarters out, you could pick up stuff, you get a bunch of extra things that the normal people at the store won't get, and overall you're saving money. It's just a good way to shop, in my opinion, if you want to get board games. But yeah, Star Realms, great deck builder. All right, well, let's move on here to the first thing of the day. Now, this right here, DC Comics publisher Jim Lee says at San Diego Comic Con, there are no plans to bring back the Snyderverse in any form. Now, there was a lot of rumors and things going around. We've probably covered it here, where there was a lot of talk about bringing back the Snyderverse. Jim Lee put the kibosh on that at one of the panels at Comic Con. And I'm kind of curious what you guys think about it because, you know, I don't know what this new Zaslav is going to do in regards to what direction he takes the, DC universe under Warner Brothers. I don't know. However, I do know people preferred the Schneider cut over the Whedon cut or whatever his name was, Josh Whedon, right? Yeah, that's right. And they just preferred it. And I guess so. I went and watched it. I suppose it's better, but it's still not great. But it is better. But the thing is, I love Henry Cavill as Superman. I thought he's a really good choice. But they didn't really give him a good movie to be in, which we all agree, I think. But I really don't want the Elseworld Snyderverse anyway. I know a lot of people seem to, but I personally am not interested in Snyderverse, the story he wants to tell at all. It's that weird thing, where uh, Batman's dad is like the Joker or something. It's just this weird, twisted Elseworld thing. I'm not interested in at all. Especially seeing as you're putting DC on film for the first time, why would you not go with the standard? I don't know what they're thinking. But although I do want more Henry Cavill, but I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with it. But Jim Lee seems pretty adamant that it ain't happening, baby. You ain't getting no more Snyderverse. So I don't know that Jim would know though, especially with Zaslav in charge. I don't know if anyone knows what's going to happen. But Jim was doing a little panel here. At least he got some people in front of him. It does say that he is part of the development for all the DC films, so that's good. I mean,
You'd
he
think
is.
they'd be better then.
Yeah, well, yeah, you would think so. he is a dude to talk to, but it's kind of like they put Jim in the corner. They say, "Hey Jim, oh that's great, thank you Jim." Yeah, that's how they do.
Thanks, Jim. That's
Thanks
all we
Jim.
needed from you, Jim.
Thank Jim. Just be there, Jim. Yeah. But yeah, I'm mixed feelings on it, Thundero, because I want more Henry, but
Mhm.
I don't really want what Schneider was trying to do. I don't
No,
want that storyline.
no, me neither.
Yeah.
Um, I don't want that storyline at all. And the reason I don't want that storyline at all is because I think we've seen it, right? So we've seen it plenty of times already. We've seen Injustice. That's what he was going to do.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm over it. I'm so beyond over dreary superhero movies
Mhm.
at this point. I have no interest in any of them. I don't care who's putting them out. They're just not fun. It's not Snyder's movies are not fun to watch.
No.
And that's a blasphemy when you're talking about Superman. Superman should he should be fun. He should be aspirational and inspirational and a pleasure to watch. It should be enjoying. It should bring you enjoyment when you watch a Superman movie,
Well,
not misery.
well, think of the most popular, successful incarnations of Superman we've seen on the big screen.
Mm.
It's exactly what you just said.
Yep,
It's Christopher Reeves being hopeful, smiley, happy, helpful Superman. People adore
that's
it.
right.
They still call it their favorite, right?
It's still one of the best superhero movies ever made. The first Superman movie. It's
Yeah,
just fantastic.
that's what people want. So stop it, you damn German.
I don't know. Listen, as the representative here of the Germans, being of Austrian descent,
Uh,
uh, I apologize wholeheartedly
good.
for Schneider
Mhm.
because he has no business near anything hopeful. The German people are a lot of things. They're not known for their hope.
No,
They're not. They're
no.
not a. They're not a light-hearted people. The German people, and you need somebody who can do that lightheartedness, who can do that aspirationalism. You need a Jewish man or a maybe even an Italian director, but you don't need a German. You don't need a German. Keep the Germans off away from anything to
It's true.
do with Superman. Just
Well,
keep them away.
any culture based on safe words should not be around those kind of things. So, but no, and fair enough, Jim. I don't know if anyone really knows what's going forward here. I think it's who to be fair, Zaslav might not even know right now.
Yeah,
I mean, I think
that's
he's
true.
really in cleanup mode. I don't know that he's in future mode right now, right? I'm
Right.
sure he has people he put on it, and he's got them in their ear, gathering information that he wants. I'm sure. I mean, it's what I would do, right?
Hmm.
So, but I have a feeling he's not even in that mode yet because he's just trying
Could
to
be.
clean house and get things into a proper operating, order. And good on him, you know. Unfortunately, this might put Henry outside the pale because, he's getting older, dude. He is.
Yeah.
Time's
Yeah.
flying here. Time's flying, and as we see with Henry, he's moving on to other projects, and good on him. Because we want more Henry. We love Henry.
What I want from Henry, what everybody should want from Henry, if he can't get a good Superman, which apparently for some reason Warner Brothers just hates the man and won't allow it to happen, when it happens, and it's going to happen, I have all faith that it will happen. When they make a Warcraft movie again,
Uh huh.
and it's about Arthas,
Mm.
he needs to be Arthas.
It'd be good, but it'll probably be Chris Pratt.
No, no,
Yeah,
no!
yeah.
Don't bring that into the universe. Damn it! Henry is a actual WoW player still today, as far as I
No, you're
know.
right.
He
No,
still
he is.
plays.
He is. Yeah.
When he was given the role of Superman, Zack Snyder called him on the phone. He missed the call because he was raiding in World of Warcraft.
As
He
you
had to
do.
call Zack Snyder back for
As
the
you
biggest role
do.
of his life because he was playing WoW.
Yeah, it is awesome. But no, he should definitely get her just simply because of the connection, and he's a pretty solid actor too. And he's,
Hmm.
he understands his body is part of the job. It's part of the package.
Yeah.
He gets it, and he keeps himself in fair shape for that. So yeah, that would be good. What I did watch? I watched The Old Man. Have you seen that series yet from Hulu?
I have not even heard of it.
Holy shit! Oh my god, dude. Um,
Good
uh,
stuff.
no, it's ridiculously good. It's too good
Hmm,
for this modern world, to be honest with you.
I like that.
Let me give you the premise. Jeff Bridges, old retired CIA.
Hmm.
John Lithgow, now with the FBI, but former CIA desk chief. Every actor is awesome, but I mean, John Lithgow gives a freaking masterclass. Which, are you surprised? No, of
No,
course you're not. Jeff Bridges is badass and awesome. Are you surprised? No,
no.
of course you're not. It's freaking epically good, dude. I was like, my wife and I were watching, and we are like, oh my god, it's been so long. I don't know how many times I was like, oh damn it, John, because people don't understand how good. I mean, actually, how good an actor John Lithgow is.
Hmm.
A lot of times they kind of put him with you know stuff like Buckaroo Banzai or things like that.
Right.
Dude, he's amazing, and he's amazing
Yeah.
in that movie, by the way. But I've said it already to the guys before you came on, but you have to go watch The Old Man. You have to watch it. It's great. If you enjoy The Terminal List, this is a whole nother level above it.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's really good. And the early reason I saw it because my wife and I took your advice to watch that stupid Michelle Yeoh movie, and we noped out that shit quick, dude.
You didn't like it? My wife didn't like it either.
I couldn't stand it. My wife hated it more. But I mean, I think the problem is we speak Chinese.
Yeah.
We don't need subtitles, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we're also well inundated with the Hong Kong cinema, right? And I don't mean kung fu movies. I mean just Hong Kong cinema in general, right?
Right.
And we saw this like, oh, this is just oh, everything's frantic Chinese woman, oh, Chinese people. It's so fucking overdone, dude. It's so overdone.
All right.
Yeah, but
I like it.
we tried to get through it. No, no, a lot of people seem to, but we tried to get through it and we couldn't stand it, dude. And we shut it off. So like, well, what do we go to watch? And we're just kind of looking through and we see the old man sitting there. Because I
Mm-hmm.
use like an international kind of YouTube thing, but it's not YouTube. It's like Netflix, but it's more international. It's not really
Right.
affiliated, and they have like everything on there, probably illegally, I'm sure. But
I'm
anyway,
sure. Yep.
but that's okay. But we saw the old Jeff Bridges. Like, hey, Jeff's usually good. And I said, okay, let's watch it. So we watched it, and we binged the entire thing on the weekend.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah, fucking awesome, dude. Cannot wait for season two. But I made the point earlier that we're still getting a lot of really bad crap, and there's more coming. And today will be
Yep.
a good example of it. But we're starting to see cracks because we're starting to see some really good stuff pop in here or there,
Yep.
right? Here or there, they're squeezing themselves in. So you know,
Yeah, I agree. I think I've said for a long time it'll be 2022, 2023 when that stuff pretty much goes away, or it largely just gets relegated to PR spin and then otherwise doesn't affect anything.
yeah, or
And
just
that's
becomes more
pretty much what's
balanced.
happening.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's pretty much what's happening. I mean, you have the biggest movie of the year so far, I believe, is Top Gun,
yeah,
and there's none of that in there. I mean, it's a diverse cast, I guess, but that's about it. That's literally the only complaint you could make about it politically when in that regard.
is it
And to me, I don't really.
diverse? That's a bad thing now.
Yeah,
Okay,
well, it is
sweet.
if the only reason that it was done is to tick some box, then yeah, I'd say it's a bad thing.
Well, they
But
do that all the
I
time.
don't think
That's true.
that's why that it was done. I just think because Tom is a lot of things. I don't think he's down with this current zeitgeist.
No,
He just doesn't seem to be. His movies have nothing to do with that, and they always have diverse casts. And I don't think it has anything to do with ticking boxes on some woke little checklist so you make sure you get one of every color. I just think that's just the way his movies seem to be, and they pretty much always have. He's never
yeah,
shied away from anything like that. So,
no, he
but it's a
just
Tom
makes
Cruise
fun.
action movie,
Yeah,
and yeah, exactly, and it's fun, and it's got heartfelt moments, it's got touching moments, it's got if you're a fan of the first one, it plays the two main characters of the first one both get their due, get their time to shine a little bit. Uh, it's everything that the The Last Jedi is not in every way. And that is a good thing. That is exactly what we need, and we need more of it, and we need to see it with every major medium. You have people who, James Bond girls and other James Bond actors, including the former James Bond himself, saying there's absolutely no reason for a female Bond, that they both said it was pretty much a stupid idea,
It is.
without saying that.
Yeah.
And I think most people would agree with that, except really weirdos on Twitter.
Yep.
And that's the thing you're seeing, Chester. What you're seeing is things like Twitter losing its influence over the industry,
Well,
and that's
Elon
a
is
good thing.
he's
That's a
full
very
front.
good thing.
It is, but Elon's full frontal assaulting Twitter is what he's doing. He's tearing it down, and good on him, and he's having a laugh while doing it. So those
Yeah.
Africans, you know how they are.
You gotta watch some South Africans. They're
Mhm.
shady. They're shifty.
They are shifty, yeah, that's true. But it is good. I haven't been able to see it yet because it's still making money in theaters, so they haven't dropped it yet. So I haven't been able to see it. But I will when I can, because it sounds like a good fun time. Although I do have to say it has one major negative attached to it.
Uh-oh.
Huge negative.
Well, oh.
The guy who's perfect casting, by the way, to play Goose's son, Rooster.
Yep.
He wears a mustache, and
Yep.
now we're seeing a lot of dumbasses trying to copy it. It's created a spread of the mustache. We
The
shan't have that.
mustache. It shall not pass. Now,
It shall
Chester, I have to
not
warn you.
pass, dude.
I have to tell you, the current Mr. Olympia for the last 3 years.
Yeah.
Chris Bumstead is his name. He's a young man, ridiculous genetics. He literally looks like he walked right off of Olympus. And every time when he competes in the Olympia, he grows a mustache.
Oh God.
I gotta say, he looks beautiful. But again, he's probably the most beautiful man in the world. Hence why he's Mr. Olympia 3 years in a row.
Right.
It's weird because I agree with you for most men. Most men, you put a mustache on your face, you look ridiculous. Knock it off.
Yep.
But some men, it looks unbelievable.
It
It's
does.
just,
Tom
they would look
Selleck.
weird without it. Yeah, Tom Selleck is a great example. There's others as well, but he's a great
Burt
example. Like
Reynolds.
Steve Austin. If Steve Austin shaves off his goatee, you're like, oh, no, go back.
Yeah.
The other way. The other
Yeah.
thing. You look
Well,
weird. You look like
here's
a
the-
penis. Put
It's
that back.
yeah, that is true. Well, no, it's kind of like short hair on girls. Very few women can pull off short hair. Very few.
Mhm.
Very few men can pull off a mustache. It just is what it is. But
Yeah.
anytime anybody tries to bring it back and it creates a rash of it, which we've been saying, yeah, no, stop it. Stop it. Just like all the girls who want to do the short hair look, stop it. Stop. You
I'm gonna
look
go off
horrible.
the direction and say, grow those stashes, boys. Grow those stashes. They're beautiful. You are beautiful princes. Grow your mustaches.
Shut up, Ben. What are you talking about? You're freaking Grizzly Adams.
I'm pro facial hair, dude.
So I'm pro facial hair too, but not the stash. The stash
Hey.
is for very specific, beautiful
Porn
men.
stars.
Yes.
Do you remember the glorious stash I grew for the parade that we were in?
Dude,
That-
you look like a freaking assassin, dude.
The amazing handlebar mustache that I grew.
I did.
Now,
Yes.
you
It took him 26 hours to grow that, by the way.
The funny thing is like, I mean, you're right about sort of the weird cultural impact of it, because I remember when I was growing that out for that parade, all of the male teachers I was working with all decided to start growing stashes or facial hair at the same time as they saw me growing it. So
Monkey
There
see,
is-
monkey do.
there is a power of the stash, indeed.
Well, I don't bow to peer pressure, sir. I wear the beard because that's the proper man's facial hair, not the mustache.
I got you both beat. I'm old school. I wear chops all the time.
Well,
Chops it up.
I don't grow
Yeah.
them really well. It doesn't look good just that because my in my indentation, you have your beard line. Men know
Mhm.
what I'm talking about. It's
Mhm.
too deep make proper chops. It just doesn't work. For
Yeah.
me, it's either a Van Dyke or just a full beard. I mean, really, it's what works on me, and that's what I'm saying, Ben. What works on you, right?
That's
It
right.
depends on the dude, right?
Like
And-
Henry. Our boy Henry had a stash for a bit.
No,
No, he
I-
didn't work, bud.
that
Didn't look good.
my brain has blocked it out.
In what, like, ignoring the like weird thing they did with the CGI in the Justice League film, in the Mission Impossible film, I thought he carried the stash pretty decently.
Eh, no, no.
It's in a movie though where they can make sure he always looks good. In normal every day, when you'd see like because he has like his Instagram and stuff, he'd post videos with it on. No, it looked ridiculous. It looked bad on him.
I did like his part in Mission Impossible, though. That was a
He was
good
good.
part. Yeah, and
Yeah.
some of those Mission Impossibles are a few of them are really good, actually.
Yeah,
Like, great
I
at
think all of them
great.
are pretty decent, other than
Yeah,
number
oh, yeah.
two, where it went in like a weird
Yeah.
direction with the John Woo action. But all other than that, all of them are pretty decent.
Yeah, there's
Yep.
one of them, like the third or the fourth one, that is epically good.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Beck and I, we've been watching through them recently, and we thoroughly enjoy them.
oh yeah,
It's a
yeah.
shame.
Tom
What's
Cruise
his
is
name
fun.
died. I can't remember his name now. Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Vin Rames,
Because he was.
Hoffman, yeah.
Oh yeah, him.
Yeah,
He
that
was.
scene in the interrogation is like a masterclass
Yeah.
on cinematography of how to create a scene where somebody is aka the victim, but they have all the power, and it feels so like viciously intimidating in the reverse fashion where it's intended. It's like that should be
Brilliant.
taught in like acting schools of like,
Yep.
here's how you command a scene in such a way. Like no, he was incredible as that antagonist.
He was pretty much always incredible.
Yes,
He was one of these guys who had no business being a successful actor because he wasn't handsome, he wasn't in good shape or anything, but he just had all of the talent, just all of it. He had it all within inside of him,
and he
just overcame every role.
His creep is awesome, dude. Now it's a shame he died. What did he die from? Huffing AIDS or something?
I don't remember, to be honest. I could probably find it, but
yeah,
it was a while ago.
It was,
because I remember he died while they were filming the Hunger Games sequels.
Ew.
Oh, was it?
Ew. Ew.
Yeah, it was because they had to piece together edits from the footage they had just to finish his role off.
It's a shame, dude. He was way too young. But speaking of very old Hollywood dudes that have made it into the deep old age, Ben, I was mentioning here to everybody the new show, The Old Man from Hulu. Yeah, you want masterclass? Go watch that shit. John Lithgow is eating the scenery, dude. Eating it. Yeah.
Oh, he's another actor. He's another one who like blends easily from like whatever genre.
That's
right?
true. Yeah.
He died of the worst possible thing. It was drug overdose.
Yeah.
Oh,
I read that heroin OD or something, right?
Some stupid shit. Yeah. But and Jeff Bridges is awesome in it too. But it's some of the best TV I've seen in a very long time. It's actually I have to watch it again, but it might well be in my top 5 all time. Yeah, TV stuff. It's amazing. But anyway, let's move on to our next story. But Jim Lee giving us a skinny as he knows it. Okay, fine.
No Schneider. That's good.
I need help.
Oh no. Pop singer Dua Lipa rumored for consideration as Zatanna in Solo movie. What are they doing to my girl?
Zatanna.
Yeah, sorry, Zatanna. What are they? Sorry, her name. That other name had me all messed up, and I was already angry. Zatanna. What are they doing to my girl?
Well, my question is, what's a Dua Lipa? That sounds like a venereal disease. Anybody? What's a Dua Lipa?
It's pop singer. It's right there in the
yeah, that doesn't help me. I have no clue who this person is. Is this her?
She's pretty, but I don't know
this
about
one.
Yeah,
is this her? This is her?
No, that ain't.
This is her.
Yeah, that's
okay. Well, she doesn't have a bad look for it. I mean, she should be Middle Easterner, and this looks like a Middle Easterner. Looks like a man, but okay. Is this a man?
I don't think so.
No, okay.
No.
I don't think it's a horrible look. She's a bit mannish,
Here we
though.
go. Here you go, Chester. I found a decent. I put it in the chat for you. Here you go.
I don't think that does her justice. I think that's just a bad photo. Like I'm looking at others, and she has the look, right? She has
that's fine. She looks fine.
And sharp features and stuff, right? So
she
doesn't have the boobs.
Looks fine. Well, that's okay
though. A little bit more boobs.
That's okay. But no, she looks the part, I guess. But that's not the point. Can she act? Does she have any talent acting? Does she have any experience?
Any
acting?
chops?
Anything?
She got the chops. Well, the other thing she needs to have is the legs. because I want comic accurate costume. Damn it! Don't even do her if you're not gonna give her
they
that
won't.
outfit.
She looks
Are
okay.
you saying fishnets or no movie? Is that
Yes,
what you're
That's
saying?
right.
yes, I
That's
agree.
right.
Maybe
That's
not.
right.
I don't really care. But
Well, I do.
I just, because I'd love to have a Zatanna movie. I would love to have it.
Yeah.
It would be fun. She's a cool character, especially when you hooking her up with her boy Constantine, because that's her man, right? So if you're gonna have a Zatanna movie, you're gonna have Constantine in there. I mean, you got to have him, right? So I'd
Mhm.
love to have it. I just don't know what a Dua Lipa is. I
Yeah, I've
mean,
never heard of her at
I, s-
all.
I suppose we've had non-actors come over and do okay. Have we ever had a pop singer do any kind of acting that turned out okay? Has that ever happened?
Mm,
Does Jennifer Lopez count?
no.
No, well, no. Okay. I don't know if I don't think she started as a pop singer though, did she? I thought she was an actress first.
No, she was
I
pop
thought
singer
she
first.
started as a pop singer.
No,
Yeah,
I'm
she
pretty
did.
sure she was an actress first.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah, check it out. I'm pretty sure. But she's an okay little actress. There's a couple of
Here you
movies
go.
she's not bad at all.
Here's her in a similar set of top and bottom that she would need for Zatanna.
Okay, let me see here. Yeah, I don't think visually. I think she's fine.
Yeah,
Visually, I
that's
have no problem
important.
at all. It is, of course,
You're gonna be
it
my
is.
girl. She's got to be hot, or I
I-
don't even bother.
Is she any good of a pop singer though? Can she sing?
Well, let's be honest though. Nobody would have ever expected that Gail would have done a good Wonder Woman, but she did a fantastic Wonder Woman, especially in that first movie. Second
Right?
movie,
Because
not so much, but the
that's
first movie, yeah. So there's a lot you can do with these characters without doing it if they don't have the skill to back it up. Because Gail's not a great actress by any stretch of the
no.
imagination,
You need a
but
good
she's
director. Yeah, yeah,
yeah. You need a good director, a good
yeah.
team around them to hide their flaws and accentuate their strengths.
Ooh,
So the look is very important. One of the reasons Gail works is because she looks like Wonder Woman. My God, she's beautiful.
she does work as it. Yeah, she does. And
So
Captain
we'll see.
Canada makes a great freaking point, dude. Reba McEntire in Tremors, dude. Thank you. Because she's awesome in that. Whole movie's it's Kevin Bacon. It has the Kevin Bacon magic just sprinkled all over it. What do you want, right?
It does help.
Oh God, I forgot Reba was in Tremors. That's a really good point.
Thank you, Captain. So did you find out if Jennifer was a singer or an actress first?
So here's where it's weird. The answer is yes, because her first job was in the movie about the
Selena.
dead actor. Yeah, Selena, right? And so, but so that launched both an acting and a pop career for her.
So I
because
was
she
right.
sang
So I'm
She's
right.
She's a double trouble threat.
So
double trouble.
just okay, Ben. Just say Chester's right.
And
I'm saying that
Chester,
the answer is yes to both. That both launched at the same time. So,
I
anyway,
will say, seeing this picture that was in vogue of her, I will take her. Her legs are good enough. That'll work.
No, I think
That's important.
I think she looks fine. That's not the issue.
I don't care how well she acts. I mean, it's a
I do.
superhero movie. I'm not expecting Shakespeare out of these ladies. I'm just expecting competency, and a competent director can make that happen even with a substandard actor.
Roger came in and beat us all. God damn it, Roger.
Oh,
J-Lo started as a dancer in the 90s and Living Color as a fly girl. Damn it, Roger.
Oh, that's true. Good call.
It's true.
He beats us. We lose. All right, fine, Roger. Points for you. But I gotta go hear what this lady sounds like. I gotta see. I have to see. I'm gonna get. It'll be canceled. Let's see here. Let's. What's her name? Two lips.
DUALIPA.
So it literally is two lips. Okay, fine. Whatever. Let's see here. I guess videos maybe. Is this her love again? Okay, fine. Okay, let's see. Come on, lady. Let's go. Let's see what you got. It's got to be better than that Billie Eilish crap. So I went and listened. Everybody was like, "Ooh, Billie Eilish." I went and listened to it. It's really bad, dude. All right, what are you doing here? Come on. It's like Rihanna. So it's nothingness. Oh, it's nothingness. Okay, but at least she can carry a tune, though. All right, fine.
It's okay.
Yeah, no, she can carry a tune, but it's this typical pop nothing. All right.
Just sounds like every other pop singer. pretty much.
Right. At least she speaks actual English, so
That
that's
helps.
good. But she looks good. If you get a good director in there who can, get something out of her, it could be fun. There you go. You got a
She needs more
dumbass
boobs,
name,
though. Can
girl.
we get her a boob job first?
Well, I don't think she needs more boobs. Zantana is not known for being the booblicious.
She's still got some boobies on her.
Yeah,
She's
I
not
don't
huge.
know.
Thundera looks up of her, right?
She's got some boobies.
Yeah, but
trolling
Ben,
the
in this case, do
32
you think it matters, though, Ben?
No, I don't think
I
it
do.
matters.
Yeah, I don't. In this case, no. I mean, Power Girl. Yeah, okay, I got you. Yeah, they should be freaking double Z's.
I'm just tired of not seeing any boobs in Hollywood anymore. Like,
fair
where's
enough.
where's the women with the boobas?
Yeah, but
at?
see, I appreciate sport boobs though.
Yeah,
I do.
don't.
Ben probably doesn't agree with me either. You guys are boob guys, but I don't really care.
I'm actually a leg guy, to be honest. But if I want to, I'm sick of it. I'm sick of watching these movies, especially if they're adaptations of other things. And for some reason, there's just no boobs allowed. Like, you're just not allowed. You can see dudes walking around all naked all the time, all buffed and jacked, but I can't see no cleavage. What the hell?
Yeah, well, that's the zeitgeist of the day, though. But okay, I guess we kind of agree. If we have a good director, it could be fun. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
cool. Rock on. Good on you. Good on you, Tulips. You get it.
I wonder what her real name is.
She looks Middle Eastern to me. So, something Middle Easterner. But that's actually a good choice because Zatanna is Middle Eastern.
Correct.
She is Persian, I think. So, I mean, it's
5'8",
as it should be.
though.
So that's a good choice, actually. But anyway, here we go. I thought this would be a
that's
fun.
Actually, her real name, according to the internet.
No, Leslie.
That is her birth name on her certificate.
The internet is stupid. Go ahead, dude.
10 best time travel movies.
Now,
none of them because they all suck. Well, no, that's not true. There's two good ones. Let's see if they're on here.
Let's see if they're on here. Now, the thing with this is, I like these top 10 lists when they're fun, or just even when they're not, we can laugh at it. This is a tough one though, man, because there's not a lot of really good time travel movies. They're often done improperly, and I'd say there's more time travel TV shows. And I don't know if they disqualified that. So anyway, let's take a look. You guys know I never look at these things before, so I have no clue what's coming. So.
And Chester, just because I was looking over here, apparently her name is Albanian. She's Albanian descent.
Oh, fair enough. All right.
Maybe.
So there you go. Whatever. Still Middle Easterner.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure is number 10. This list is going to be rough.
It is a time travel movie, but
yes.
And it's beloved within the cultural zeitgeist, and
it is.
And at least it's not number one, right? So I think it's fine.
Gosh,
no, I
think that's the best one.
I understand it being on the list. It's cool, yeah. And all honesty, it has George Carlin in it,
right?
Yeah.
I mean, it gets points just for that. So, and it also gave us Keanu Reeves. So,
It did. Him and his loving self, his lovable self.
Yes, but I don't know. There's much more to say about this movie.
They made a few of them.
Napoleon's a dickhead. Okay.
Well, yeah. I mean, we all knew that.
Now, why is this so low?
I don't know.
12 Monkeys.
It's good.
It's actually a pretty solid flick. You forget, I think, in this movie that it is time travel.
Mm-hmm.
I think you do, and to be honest with you, Bruce is Bruce. He's Bruce. But frickin' what's the pretty boy's there? Brad Pitt. Yeah, thank you.
Oh yeah, he acted the hell out of that movie.
Oh my god, dude, it's one of his best.
He usually does.
Ever. Yeah.
In all honesty, he's underrated. Brad Pitt, I think he's a great actor.
he's sold as a pretty boy, but he's actually like an amazing actor. Like there's a
Yeah.
ton of stuff I've seen him in that he just solid performance.
Kills it.
Yep.
Yeah.
This is one of his best though.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how this can be 9. You know they're gonna put that stupid. Oh God, I know what they're gonna do. Who am I gonna yell at here? I gotta figure out who I'm gonna. Frank. God
Frank.
damn it, Frank. All right.
Of course, it's a guy named Frank every time.
Damn it. All right, let's go on. This should certainly be higher though. This is a much better movie than that. Although to be
It's pretty
fair,
good.
it's you forget that you're in a time travel movie though. It's only the
Yeah.
very beginning it is easy to forget that. This is barely time travel. Fuck
I was
off.
about to say, I call bullshit on this one.
So do I.
Yeah, me too.
I mean,
one, it's a bullshit movie, but two,
but
it's time travel.
It's just a physics thing.
It
right?
is.
They're not.
Yeah.
They're not traveling in time in like the classic sci-fi sense, right?
It's
Like,
fourth
Right.
dimensional science. Yes.
Traveling
This
through time. That's
this
what
is like
people
saying,
think of
if
with
I
time
go to
travel.
sleep at night, I'm time traveling 8 hours into the future, right? And you're like,
Yeah.
no, you're just skipping time because you go to sleep, right?
That's
you know,
right.
it's like I,
Right.
no.
Yeah.
I don't agree with this. Shouldn't be on the list. This is
I
dumb.
agree, Ben. You and I agreed on something. How rare.
And it definitely shouldn't be number 8 because that movie's way overrated. I can't stand that movie. I
It
don't know why
is not
people
good.
like it.
Well, it's freaking Nolan, dude. What do you want?
No,
Yeah, it was at the Nolan craze. That's why people were
oh,
sucking
no, there's
his dick.
still the Nolan craze. Like I think he's such an overinflated like film.
He is.
Yeah, I'm not a big Nolan.
No, I'm not. I'd take the better version of him. His name is Villeneuve. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
agree.
anyway, this is not a time travel movie. Fuck off, Frank. All right.
Got here, Frank.
Uh,
I would not.
uh,
Well, let me think. Would I put this on this list? Probably, but I think it would have been higher. Because, well, one, Interstellar has no business on the list. Yeah, and 12 Monkeys is definitely a better movie than that movie.
it's better than this one for sure.
Yeah. So probably it would make it on the top 10 list, but that's only because so many time travel movies are just dog shit. They just suck. They're not good movies. Yeah, I don't know. It's rough because there's not a big group to pick from that I would consider decent, and I honestly just think this one's decent. I didn't really like this that much.
That fucking Looper movie on this list.
You know it is,
coming.
dude. You know it is.
Probably number 2.
Although I did enjoy that as a little popcorn film, though. I did.
No, I mean, it's okay as a popcorn film, but like, just.
I like the
anyway.
Rainmaker concept. I thought that was cool.
Right. That was cool. Yeah. But this right
Yeah.
here, this movie's okay. At least we had a cute Kitty Pryde. She's gone somewhere else now. Ellen has changed.
No.
I don't know. There was these movies here. This breed or whatever you want to call this era of the X-Men movies. I just didn't like them that much. I know a lot of people loved what's his name is Magneto and the other guy is Xavier, and I didn't mind them. I thought they were great, but the rest of the movies around them sucked. They just weren't that good. It was actually one of Kevin Bacon's worst performances in the first movie.
I think it's the classic problem of especially Michael Fassbender. Those two are such good actors. And especially Fassbender as Magneto, who brings a higher level of authenticity to it with the German accent and being able to speak German and such. Like you do feel like there's a lot more connection to the actual character than what Ian can bring to it. But I think the problem is that it then gets like flavored in with a lot of like frankly not as good actors, and you're just really relying on these two guys who were both again amazing actors to carry the whole thing, and it's tough, right?
Yeah,
it is.
Well, and then you had, for some reason, I know the reasons because she became so popular, but everything became about Mystique there too as well, and it's just like,
Yeah, that was a mistake.
That was that. I didn't like that either.
Yeah, and besides, the first lady who played her was much better.
Well,
much
she was
better.
way hotter.
Oh, this comedy! I've never actually seen this movie.
What are we doing here? Oh.
The only part about this movie I really like and I still remember is when that douchebag guy looks at the girl and he goes, "I get head good," because they made a bet that she'd have to give him head if she lost it, or if her man lost it. And for some reason, the way he said it just always sticks in my brain, and I always think about it. But no, this is not a good film. It has some funny moments, but it's not a good film at all.
Well, at least everything on the list so far has been things that I think stick within the cultural zeitgeist more. Like, we still
Yeah.
talk about Days of Future Past. We still talk about Bill and Ted. This movie fucking came and went, and nobody talks about it anymore. It
Yeah.
was just a dumb fucking comedy.
Yeah.
And,
Hot
and it
Tub
had
Time Machine for those of you listening.
right. Oh god, Looper's going to be on this fucking list.
You
It's
know
coming.
it is, dude. It's coming.
It's coming.
Although I can't remember this guy's name on the left here offhand. He's in a lot of good movies. Huh?
John
Cusack?
Cusack.
John Cusack.
John
Yeah, he's
Cusack.
actually a pretty solid actor.
Go take First Point Blank. That's a great film.
Oh God, this.
Time
Okay,
Traveler's
Time
Wife.
Traveler's
I've never
Wife.
seen this.
For those who want to go to sleep quickly.
It's ASMR in cinema form, is what you're
It
telling
is.
me.
They're doing a TV series of that.
It's so boring, dude. God, it's so boring. It's every woman's stupid ass fantasy. Fuck off, film.
Oh, Eric Bana.
No,
That
I'm
guy.
moving on. The butterfly effect.
It got worse, Chet.
It got way worse. Ashton Kutcher without arms.
Oh, man.
The only thing I can say about Ashton is apparently what he's been doing for the last decade or so is trying to stop child sex trafficking.
Sure.
Like
Good on him for
legitimately.
that. Yeah,
He
good on him.
shifted from acting to that.
Credit for
So
that.
cool,
Yeah.
but that's where you should be because you can't act, buddy.
No.
Sorry to tell you, you're just not a good actor.
Yeah.
Hold on. In defense, there's a lot of vapid actresses out there that people like, guys like,
Yep.
because of their looks.
Yeah.
Ashton, and I think he would be the first to admit this. You know, part of his appeal is he's the himbo of the acting scene,
Yep.
and that he's pretty for the girls to look at. And
Yep.
that's, hey, we're true feminists here. We're all about equality.
No, well,
Yes,
you
yeah.
are. But no, you're right. You're exactly right, and that is fine. That is fine. I don't have any hate.
All I know is I haven't heard a single, and maybe it's just because I'm not around his fans enough, but I haven't heard a single female pine for the days of Ashton Kutcher again.
I've heard lots.
Well,
of
he
that.
married Grandma,
He did. He did.
so but this.
Married her first, and then he went and married the chick from that '70s show. So he's bouncing around a lot in the age range.
Yeah, he is. He is. He's getting him some strange. But I hate to tell you this. The way Frank is going with this list here, Ben, Looper's number one. I'm telling you, dude. It is.
There's only one number one film. We all know what it is. There can only be one number one.
Yeah. In fact, it should be three of those in a row.
This actually is this is a really good movie, actually.
It's a good movie.
I've never heard it. I've never seen it. What's it
Go
about?
watch it. I'm not going to tell you where. You don't want to know anything. Just go watch it. Yeah.
It's a good film.
It is solid.
And here's the thing. I was really worried about the list, but I had no expectations of him putting this on the list, considering his previous picks. But he gets credit for this one.
Yeah, it's a good movie. Yeah, and no, don't talk about it at all, Ben. Just go watch it.
No, I'm not. I know.
Yeah. It's a good flick. So Primer, go see that.
Oh, jeez.
Hold on a second. Does this qualify?
Yes.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
That's the entire second act.
Even though it broke all of its own rules.
See, it was so bad I can't even remember. How the hell did they go back in time in this?
They used the quantum realm.
Oh God.
To be fair, they handled it, I think, in a better way than others handle trying to explain time travel, in that they were going back in time, but not actually in their own reality. They're, kind of a multiple dimensional thing, right? And so, I mean, I think they made a better attempt at explaining time travel in a way that was cohesive to the storyline than most others do.
They made an attempt. I'd say they failed miserably. But yes, they made an attempt.
I have a feeling that Frank went on the internet and did a search, and he found a 12-year-old girl's take on the best. And the 12-year-old girl had heard about this Primer movie and figured she should throw it in.
Yeah,
Frank?
That's so weird. Why is Primer on this list?
I know, it doesn't make sense. It's the only good choice.
If this is the movie we think it is, holy shit,
No,
Frank.
dude, I'm joyful for a second here.
Oh my God. Okay.
No
There's
Looper
only
on the
one
list
option.
at all.
And by the way,
You're really worried it was going to be Looper's number one.
I was
it
too,
should
dude.
be. This is number 1, 3 is number 2, and 2 is number 3. That's what it should be.
Well,
But no, we can't have nice things because, for some reason he wanted to play games and put Endgame anywhere on this list, and then he put other nonsense on this list. I don't care if it's all in the same series. They're all time travel movies, and they're all better than everything else on this list.
they are, and they deserve to be toward the top. However, we are missing, a few movies, possibly. How about Terminator?
Yep.
Yeah, no,
Yep.
nowhere on the list.
Terminator 1 and 2. Yep,
Yeah,
not on there.
yeah, yeah.
Doesn't
How
even,
about
doesn't even get a mention.
excuse me? How about Groundhog Day?
Yeah.
I mean, is that time travel?
Is that time travel or time stop?
Say, hey,
Time-
hey.
loop?
I guess time loop. Yeah, he's traveling in a circle, in an infinite loop. So I guess I'll grant it to him. But
Yeah.
yes.
How about a little movie called the Time Machine? H.G. Wells.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
pretty decent.
How about Edge of Tomorrow?
Yeah.
That's
That's
actually
definitely
a
better than
really
some of the
good
stuff
movie,
on here.
dude. Yeah. I'm glad that Back to the Future did make it up here, but I mean, come on, dude. We got Star Trek. We could go with that. That's got a little time
Yeah.
travel in it.
You
How
know
about-
what?
Mhm.
Yeah, Star Trek. What was it? 3, The Voyage Home.
Yes.
And you know what else?
Exactly.
You know what else? The first Superman movie. I said it. I said it right to your face.
You did.
Because
You
it
did.
is.
Yeah.
And he fixes the problem with time travel at the end.
Well-
Technicality.
Well,
Pandero.
seeing
Hey.
yeah, that's fair. If you want to go technicalities, then throw in the Flight of the Navigator. Then.
Yep.
Yep.
My point is there's a lot more movies that should be on this list that are not on this list. The fact that I didn't even think of the Terminator movies till you said them, because I think that's probably why they're not on this list, because people don't think of them as time travel movies, even though they absolutely are.
They absolutely are, yeah. But
they
I mean-
should absolutely be on this list. Top 5 easy, especially the second one. It's one of the best movies ever made.
Sure. What about
Like-
Source Code? That was a really good little time travel-y thing. You got other
Timey-wimey.
you got other stuff here. Let me see here. Of course, Looper.
Yep.
Yeah. Ben's favorite.
Here's my question: would you guys? Didn't have a theatrical release, but technically it was like a made-for-TV thing. What about the 50th anniversary of Doctor Who? Because it was in cinemas.
Oh,
and
well,
it was
it was
awesome.
a movie. Yeah, Doctor Who's definitely time travel. I don't know if it's in the top 10 list though. How about Project Almanac? You remember that one? That was a cute little movie, dude.
But no, to your point, Pandero, I think there was a Doctor Who movie, right? That's kind
There
of
was. There was.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, there
the
was.
but the 50th anniversary also was released in cinemas as a movie as well, because it was made that way, like a movie. It's an hour and a half or
Yeah.
whatever, 2 hours. So
What about Donnie Darko? Does that count?
Oh, that. Yeah.
it's very esoteric. I don't know. That's a creepy movie.
It
It's
is good though. It is good.
Yeah.
Of course, really, in the top 3, I'm going to go ahead and go with Back to the Future because it is so great. But
Yeah.
why is Gilliam's Time Bandits not on this list?
Probably never seen it.
Dude, how many people honestly know about Time Bandits?
Dude,
Like,
that is a badass movie.
It's such a deep cuts reference. Though.
You know what
Yeah.
else should be not on this list, but if some of this shit that's on here is on this list, and it's not on this list, is Time Cop. I'll watch a Time Cop every day. I love Time
Jean-Claude
Cop.
Van Damme, dude. That was
Yep.
that's one of his better movies. But
Yep.
I'm disappointed, Ben. Time Bandits deserves to be,
No, I'm not
dipped in
saying- I'm not
gold,
saying
sir.
you're wrong, right? But there's certain films that are in the old fart cultural zeitgeist. Ice Pirates, Time Bandits, right?
Yeah.
These are things that are you don't commonly see on these because they're written more from, I think, the vapid position, right?
Yeah, it's true. But they also left out Mr. Peabody and Sherman.
I don't know.
They did.
They didn't have Looper, so I'm just happy. So.
Yeah, that's true. But there are so many good movies that aren't on this list. For me, Time Bandits is definitely one that should have been here. And I agree with you, dude. Time Cop is one of Jean-Claude Van Damme, but that is a really solid movie, dude. Go
is.
watch that movie.
Genuinely is.
It's genuinely good, yeah.
He had a couple that were just good just on their own,
Mm,
regardless of his quirks, and that was one of them.
the mullet.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's right.
obviously,
All right.
obviously he had a bunch of ones that were just Jean-Claude Van Damme movies, but he also had a couple standouts that were just
He did.
good, solid films,
Yeah, he
and that was
did.
one of them. Time Cop.
Definitely. And another weird one is what was it called? Cyborg.
I've never
Yeah.
seen
It
that
was
one.
a weird, really weird movie. But there's I don't know. It's something about that movie though.
I think his best film, like truly like from a perspective of being a good film that actually did well, I think Universal Soldier is probably the best.
Oh, him with
Yeah,
Dolph Lundgren. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I like Universal
That was just
Soldier
a
a
really
lot.
solid film. So
Yep.
Just
Yeah, I was thinking
remember,
of that
chat,
too.
because I like Time Bandits. I've been called an old man. Just remember that.
good movie.
It is a good movie. It's a great movie. Terry Gilliam, one of his best as far as I'm concerned. Go
Now
ahead,
that
dude.
now that you brought Terminator back into my brain, I would say, well, I'll do it. I don't want to, but I'll lump all the Back to the Futures into one slot.
Sure.
That's number one because it's it's one of, if not the best trilogies ever
It's
made.
a great
Period.
series. Yeah, yeah.
And it's fantastic time travel stuff, even if it does break its own rules. Uh, but then the Terminator series, at least the first two, because after that, I'm just gonna pretend those don't exist,
Sure.
are just fantastic. They're two totally different movies, but they're both time travel movies. One's time travel mixed with horror, and one's time travel and action. And yeah, I think they're apparently underrated, or people just don't, like my brain. I didn't even think about that. That yeah, it's time travel movie.
Yeah.
So yeah, that would be my one and two. I think is Terminator and Back to the Future.
There we go. Captain Kirk is speaking, by the way.
Oh. William Shatner blasts recent Star Trek TV series, says creator Gene Roddenberry would be, quote, turning in his grave at some of this stuff. You're correct, Bill.
You
You
are.
usually are.
Let
You are a very smart man, and you don't get the credit you deserve for it because you're a prick. But you're a smart man, and you are correct, Mr. Shatner.
Yes,
Sir
he
William
is.
Shatner.
Sir, he is. And I don't think this quote is accurate, Ben. It says, quote, be turning in his grave at some of this stuff, quote, end quote. I don't believe William Shatner said that. I believe William Shatner said, quote, be turning in his grave at some of this shit, unquote. That would
Yeah.
be a more accurate.
Sounds
Uh,
more like Phil. Yeah.
yeah, that's much more like Mr. Shatner. But he's 100% right. It's a travesty, especially seeing as Roddenberry's vision was a good one. It was a liberal worldview anyway. I mean,
What I think part of the problem is like it was when they did Next Generation, a lot of people complained about it because it didn't have like any of the old crew in it and stuff, right?
yeah,
Um but they needed a breakaway because they need to like tell new stories with new characters and stuff like that.
sure,
And they did it again with Deep Space Nine. They did it again with Voyager, and like
yep,
that entire like block, like we have a lot of really good memories of. But we are still in the current, iteration that they're trying to force down our throat. Still just stuck telling the same stories over and over again of
yep,
like the original like crew, and it's like do something different. Like that's
hmm
that's how it was so successful was go out there and do something different. Don't feel like you need to keep rehashing the story of Spock and young,
no.
Captain Kirk and stuff like that. But they keep just doing it, and it's just weird, and it's tired and dumb now.
It's also trying to deconstruct them because they're somehow problematic. I mean, but you made a good point. Next Generation was certainly different than the original series. Deep Space Nine was way different, probably the best writing in the series, to be honest with you. Voyager isn't the most popular, but I enjoyed it, actually. And of course, the best captain ever, Archer in the Enterprise.
Oh, this
Um,
guy.
no, shut
This
up.
guy.
He was the best.
He got one good season, and you're giving him the best
He's
ever?
the best.
This
Scott
guy.
Bakula.
I love Scott Bakula, don't get me wrong. I'm a big Scott Bakula fan. But no.
Yes.
I won't grant him the rank of best. Sorry.
But anyway, the point that Ben's making is they were all very different takes, very
Yep.
different. None of those was spoofing or parodying off the other. None of them. They were
Right.
doing their own things. It was in Roddenberry's universe, sure. So why, with this modern iteration, are they so desperate to deal with the original cast again? It doesn't make any sense. Do your own thing. Do something different. It is a very liberal, utopian worldview Gene Roddenberry
Yep.
created. I mean, come on, dude. You don't look what they did though. They took his utopian ideal, which was about how a utopian humanity is facing a non-utopian universe, right? And the troubles that that brings. And what have they done? They've torn the utopia apart. They've destroyed it. Everyone's corrupt and evil and nasty like today. The whole thing Roddenberry was trying to do was showing that, hey, what would happen if we did go this way? What would happen if we did find all the answers that humanity needed? How would we then interact with the universe in that situation? They completely have lost the plot, Ben.
Well, Chester, that's because you have a lot of no talent hacks who actually think they are fixing the problematic parts of the original Star Trek series. That's why this is going on.
The other problem is a lot of the people who, like you said, Deep Space Nine was probably the best written, and I would probably agree with you. It probably was. Those people have either moved on, the ones who were writing that, they've unfortunately died, or they've just straight retired. And because that was 20 years ago now, 25 years ago. So they're older now, and many of them just aren't working. The people who wrote that stuff. Now, some of them have moved on to other things, like the Orville has that lady with the crazy last name. First name's Sherry, her last name's nonsense. I'm not even going to try it. She was working with him for a while. I don't know if she still is. I haven't seen the new season, but I would assume. She was one of the best writers for the Star Trek franchise. And it's very obvious to me that regardless of whether there's an agenda or not, I would say there is, they're just incompetent. It's just incompetence, and that's why they're trying to recycle old stuff and put a new veneer on it and say, look how great, and they expect pats on the back.
Right.
When, no. First of all, Star Trek had one of the most loyal fan bases ever. Ever.
Yeah, that's true.
And they've killed it. How many people do we know personally, including myself, who have absolutely no interest in anything Star Trek now? They've completely killed it.
Quite a while.
This is how important Star Trek was to me. It was Star Wars with my dad, Star Trek with my mom. The only movie my mother and I ever went to together was a Star Trek movie. It was First Contact. That was the only movie we ever went to together. We loved Star Trek. We would watch it all the time together. And I have absolutely no interest in this modern Trek because it's not Star Trek. It hasn't been Star Trek since Nemesis, and that wasn't really Star Trek.
That's true. Hold on, before Ben speaks, and I'm going to let you speak here, Ben. I do have to read Captain Canada's remarks. Ben got recast by a black guy. Oh. And Elrod says Gene Roddenberry would be pleased, would be pissed at the lack of upskirt panty shots. But to be fair, true, he would be Elrod. But he also had Shatner without that shirt a lot for the ladies. Let's not forget that. Go ahead, Ben. You're now a black guy, by the way. So let's hear you roll into that, sir.
I was trying to think of if I could do anything voice wise to reflect that, but then I decided against it. I think Thundero, you're absolutely right, but I think it's really simplistic, right? And it's one name. I think one name is the pain that is causing us, and it's Alex.
Yes.
Right.
Kurtzman.
I think we can put all of the blame on one extraordinarily hack writer who went to the crossroads, put a little tennis offering in there, and sold his soul to the devil. And his what he asked for was to be a successful movie / TV producer, director, writer, whatever. But he's taken the reins on it, because he kind of jumped the J.J. Abrams coattails, right? J.J. Abrams was the director, but he doesn't like to actually write stuff, and so he was like, "Come on, Kurtzman, you can write Star Trek." And Kurtzman, who obviously doesn't watch, I think every time I see him write stuff, it's like, "Oh, you just read the Wikipedia page, didn't you? You didn't actually absorb and understand the material, right?" And I think they just need to get away from Kurtzman as sort of the czar of, because that's what he is now, right? He's the Kevin Feige of Star Trek, and that's the worst thing that's ever happened to them. And they need to get rid of Kurtzman. It's what it really comes down to.
They need to abolish all of Abrams' nonsense. They just need to get away from it entirely. Do a hard reboot past Nemesis. Go 15, 20 years, 50 years, whatever. Past the end of Star Trek The Next Generation, which was Nemesis, at least canonically, and just move on and move the story on and try new things. And they can tell their progressive politics. Star Trek's always had them. They can do all of it. They can have all of it, but they have to do it competently, and they have to do it with the same level of aspirationalism that all the other ones have. Even Deep Space Nine, even though it was darker, the point of it, the reason why that worked is because everything else wasn't up until that point.
Out Patrick Stewart too, because it is getting awkward.
Yes,
it is.
I love him so much. I've met him. He's a sweet guy. He is a charmer to talk to, but it is sad to see him on screen now.
It's Biden-esque. And they're
How
browbeating.
badly did he need that? How badly did he need that check to ruin one of his most beloved performances?
Because I've listened to interviews, and here's the problem, right? Is I think he really enjoyed doing the movie Logan that put a capper on the role for him.
It was great, yeah.
And he looked at that and he was like, God damn, that was me really going out with that role with a bang, and I really did it in a way that felt, really conducive to the storyline, to the character. For everything I read, like, he enjoyed doing Logan. He talks about like watching in the screening room with Hugh Jackman and crying together and with it and stuff. And from, like, again, Kurtzman is an asshole because again, I've read other interviews. They sold it to him as being the Logan-esque run for him as Picard.
And instead it's just a bunch of women yelling at him.
And so I think that's the problem, is that I think he got involved. He was like sold some magic beans on this and told we're going to let you end your story. Like when they did spoilers, the end of season 1 where they turned him into a stupid fucking android, right? Mm-hmm. Like he was living that because like that's not the fucking ending that he wanted for his character. That's just dumb fuck stuff.
That's just stupid fan fiction. That's what that is.
I don't know if it's fan fiction. It's just weird. Like, why the fuck would you do that?
I don't know.
Yeah. No, fair.
It's such a shame too. Such a shame. Go ahead.
So the question I got for Ben is: you said Kurtzman's got to go, and everybody unanimously agrees. I've been away from the Star Trek stuff since J.J. Abrams. I watched that first movie, and I never cared to watch it again.
Yep.
If you get rid of Kurtzman, you got to get rid of all of them because they're all under him and JJ's crap. Sure. So clean sweep.
Any of the writers or anything like that.
Who would you replace him with?
You know what? I'm going to give you a really weird answer to this, right? The thing, like, have you been watching The Orville?
I have not. I've heard people say a lot of good stuff about it, but
I don't agree.
Let me have my piece on this. So you're right. Seth MacFarlane, he's got kind of a weird sense of humor. However, he's captured sort of the morality and the sense of like fun and wonder and like the sense of like politics and space of it. Now, I'm not saying he has to do it directly himself, but the other writers involved in the Orville who helped like write that out, I would shop it around there because the Orville, I think, has captured sort of the same Star Trek Next Generation feel from both a storyline perspective and a character perspective. Find somebody who can do it that pulls out the laughs and the yucks. But there are tons of episodes of the Orville that captures that Star Trek level of sense of like wonder, politics, all that stuff.
Yeah, no, I would rather go with James Cameron so we don't have to see any of this shit for 20 years.
James Cameron? Oh my god, then we won't see an actual Star Trek movie for 10 fucking years.
That's what I just said.
You guys are all wrong.
I just said.
You guys are all wrong.
Yeah.
You guys are all wrong. The people who should be in charge of it are the people who made Axanar. That's who should be in charge.
Oh my god,
they should swallow their
100%.
damn pride and let these people give them a budget and let them make a show.
Yep.
Because Axanar is amazing. It's the best fan film of anything ever made. It's unbelievably good.
Yeah. I agree 100%.
But they won't do that because they literally sued them to try and get them to stop when they've got the rights. They did everything they could, every dirty trick in the book, because technically they're in the right. They own the copyright, so fan films, they can shut them down. But they did everything they could to piss in their cereal for a long time. So they're not going to do that. Whoever's at the helm over there is probably the same person. He's not going to do that because it's going to require swallowing his damn pride and admitting he was wrong. And bring these people in, these supposed amateurs in, who do way better with way less than these huge studios with these massive budgets and these hacks like Kurtzman.
Mm-hmm.
Bring them in, let them make you something cool, let them do a short little 10-episode run of a Star Trek show, and let's see what they got. That's what they should do.
Yeah.
And actually knew that it wasn't about the CGI or the special effects. It was about the characters, the stories, the sense of progress, right? Stuff like that.
Yes.
And they captured that perfectly, right? And so, and that's why it's so good, because you don't mind the lesser graphics. But that was the problem with J.J. Abrams and all of them. Like, they made it this weird spectacle that Star Trek was never really supposed to be.
No, it's not about the spectacle. It's about the story. And if they could rein in McFarlane's sense of humor, he probably would be a good choice.
Yep. I wouldn't mind him as like the overarching executive producer, but give him a serious team and keep his quirkiness out of it, and let these Axanar people direct it and actually make the stuff. And I think you would have Star Trek back. I think we would be right back at the early 90s again, and we could get some really cool stuff. I really do. But the will has to be there, and for whatever reason, these people who are in charge of it have absolutely no will when it comes to making money, because they don't seem interested. So, I don't know. It blows my mind how they just throw good money after bad constantly with this current Star Trek stuff.
I was shocked at watching the Orville, because you could see McFarlane's love specifically for Next Generation just painted all over that thing. Yeah, sure, he fills it with a bunch of yuck jokes and stuff like that, but there's still an underlying deep love for
no, you can tell. Yeah, you can tell. That's true. Well, anyway, I'm going to move on. Mr. Shatner, of course, is outliving them all, and good on him. He is eternal. The thing that surprised with me is, as old as he is as sharp as he is. The thing with it here with him, he of course, is Captain Kirk. He had a great run. I know you guys would probably laugh at this, but T.J. Hooker was a successful run. And him as Denny Crane in Boston Legal. I mean, come on, dude.
Yeah,
come on.
That was actually good. I saw a couple episodes of that. That was pretty good.
Awesome. This guy has done so much in his life. But anyway, let's move on here. Oh, God.
Uh-oh. Oh, here it is. The Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power. Again, I will say, the dumbest name I've ever heard. San Diego Comic-Con panel is a disaster. Host claims Celebrimbor created the One Ring. Oh, boy. Oh boy! Is it Sella or Kella? I never can remember. But
it's Celebrimbor.
Yeah.
But well, here's the thing. First of all, John, you're a young man, I'm assuming. The host, his name is Stephen Colbert. So that you should have put that in your headline. And I'm shocked by this. This doesn't matter. This is Petioon is what this is, because the problems with this, the Rings of Power, is way bigger than this. But I'm shocked because Stephen Colbert is an actual Lord of the Rings mega fan. He really actually is. I remember back when I was playing Lord of the Rings Online, which I do believe we played together, Ben, and we had some great adventures with that team. My Little Shanks was awesome at triggering the team attacks, by the way. But he's actually, Stephen Colbert is actually a character in the game. Colbert the Mad.
Yeah. No, I remember. Yeah. This is a weird one for him to do, because he's like,
it is weird.
He's known because he's outdone. They have Tolkien lore historians on tap for when they were doing the movies. They had these specific Tolkien lore historians, and he can outdo them, right? His knowledge. So this feels like a really weird trip up for him to
It's
make.
a weird mistake. I agree, because, like I said, this is Petioon, though, to be honest with you, because Celebrimbor is the guy who made the Elven Rings, and he hid them so that Sauron would not find them, right? But the One Ring was created by Sauron himself in Numenor, right? And I have a feeling that he just he just messed up by saying the one ring and you meant the elven rings. I would imagine it was just a mess, a slip up. And then the other complaint that he said that the elves have always been sad and dour and are always kind of downers. I think he was trying to be funny, right? Because that's not really accurate either.
No.
But I have a feeling these were just misspeaks because I don't think Stephen. I know he's become quite the. Oh God, I don't want to get into it, but I think it's just a mistake on his part. I don't think it's intentional. Anybody have any opinion on that?
I
It it,
think
it it feels weird. Go ahead. Sorry.
no. I just think that Colbert has proven that he is an absolute sellout stooge. He'll do whatever the
Oh
money
yeah.
masters tell him to.
Oh, he
So
proved
if
that with the Anita Sarkeesian interview that he has no
yes,
backbone at all.
All
if
right.
if they decided to change the lore, let's say, and that is what's going to happen in this show, he would absolutely, without reservation, say it as if it was factual Tolkien lore. Because obviously they have no problem changing lore, hence the show existing.
Mm.
But so that very well could be the angle they're going to go with in this show, because it wouldn't surprise me at all. It's not, like you said, it's not even a huge deal, really.
No, it is
As
penny.
far as who forged it specifically, but it's just another one to add to the pile of if they did, it's just another one to add to the pile of things they changed for no apparent reason other than they could. Pretty much. Like there doesn't seem to be much benefit to changing that to him over Sauron, but who knows with this show. I still say the biggest mistake they made right out of the gate, and this stuff is very important. People underestimate it. Right out of the gate, calling it the Lord of the Rings, the Rings of Power. I knew it was going to be a shit show. I just did. I said it right away. Chester, as soon as I saw the name, I told you that. I said this is going to be a shit show.
Right.
Because that is horrible branding. Horrible.
It is
terrible.
It is. But like I said, you could be right. Grimlock. Stephen could have been paid or told to say that. I have a feeling he just misspoke. Either way, I'll get Ben's take on it here. But someone correct me if I'm wrong. But they keep saying Sauron, Sauron, Sauron. But if I don't think I'm wrong. At this time, he wasn't called Sauron. He was called Melkor, right?
Right. He should be called Melkor at this time.
Yeah, so
Yes.
I'm not like lost my mind or something.
No.
Okay, good.
No, he
Phew, I
becomes
was
Sauron
worried.
later.
Yeah, I thought sure
When he
it was
loses his
Melkor.
form, I think, is when he starts going by Sauron more.
Right. Yeah.
Because he loses his ability to take the beautiful shape or whatever it's called, something like that.
Okay, go
Which,
ahead.
did you see the picture of him? Oh my god.
Eminem.
Nothing
Yeah, it's
beautiful
perfect.
about?
I don't know. It's weird. I watched the trailer came out, like the extended trailer. It looks gorgeous. Like every shot looks.
Pretty.
It is the
It is
best
pretty.
looking streaming show that we've probably had to date. Right.
Yes.
It looks damn near like A-class cinema. I'm not saying it's going to be an A-class series. I'm just saying the money's on the screen. It looks really, really solid, right?
Yeah, it's just their choices and their politics. Gregory says Melkor is his master. I thought Morgoth was his master.
Yeah, Morgoth's his master.
Yeah, he corrected it.
Okay, good.
Oh,
Stop making me
yeah.
think I'm going crazy, Gregory.
But again, that's the beauty of Tolkien's lore. Is it's so obscenely deep that you can make those kind of mistakes very easily. So it could very well be that you're right, that Stephen just misspoke, and I hope it is, because I want as little changes to the lore as possible, even things that are largely irrelevant.
I'll be back in a minute.
So hopefully that's all it is, but again, I just have no faith, and that lack of faith started when I saw the name. I was like, oh, that's bad. That doesn't sound good. Doesn't sound good. Doesn't roll off the tongue.
Amazon could have saved themselves a whole lot of trouble if they had just not fired, was it Shippey or Shipley, whatever his name is?
I think it's Shipley. Yeah, I think is his name.
They should have. Whoever fired that was clearly on an agenda. Because there was no reason to do it. You're spending nearly $60 million an episode for this.
It's so.
I
weird.
mean,
I know, and I'm kind of with you on that one. Like when they first announced it, and there's this thing of being in the red, right? And that is cost before you even start rolling on film, right? And that's the
Mhm.
Yeah.
cost for IPs and stuff like that. And they said when they announced, like, yeah, we spent $250 million for the rights, and it was like, "Oh, that is a crazy amount to start in the red on before you start rolling a single amount of film. Is like you've already wildly shot yourself in the foot more than frankly any other production company has ever done, right?
Oh yeah,
And
you know how many countries you could have bought with that kind of money?
well, and the crazy thing is there's a ton of really good fantasy stuff out there, right? That
Yes.
and if you want to fit into a more progressive mold, and I'm the libtard on the group, I've got no problem with it. I don't, that stuff I don't
Yeah,
want
but they
anybody.
have, but I know where you're going. They do have those series where you can do that,
No, that's what I'm
and
saying is that you could
yeah,
avoid the
yeah,
controversy.
I get where you was going.
Yeah. You can avoid the controversy. Like I said, I don't mind it, but I know others who do, and that's fine. I'm not going to argue against that point. But my point is that like there's tons of like other stuff out there that fits the mold that you're looking for. That you a can have a cheaper price tag on, and you can play around a little bit more, and not have everyone like lose their fucking mind because you're stomping all over the lore and stuff like that. So
I,
I usually reserve judgment before I watch anything. I'm not horribly offended by any of this stuff yet. I think you're right, Thundera. I think the name is just really goofy and it doesn't roll off the tongue very easily. It just sounds kind of weird. But I mean, I don't know. The trailer like looked pretty stunning. Again, the money's on the screen, so we'll see. I'm reserving judgment until it's out.
well,
The weird thing is okay, it's going to be about the Rings of Power, right? Obviously, hence the name and hence in the character list they've shown, and that's fine. I have no problem with a show about that. Why not just call it the Second Age then?
Sure.
Like that would have been
that would
fine, and it sounds way
all
better
smoother.
than the Rings. The Rings. Like, what are we singing a song? What are we doing? Why are we repeating ourselves in pentam? What are we doing? Like that's a perfect. What's the word? Where you repeat yourself in a song? Chester would know. Where's Chester? But it's like, why are we doing that when there's so many other names you could have gone with? Just off the top of my head, you could have went with the creation of the rings. You could have went with the ring forging. You could have went with just all sorts of things. There's even terms that they have in the lore for this time period. You could have went with besides just the Second Age. Like there's other names for it. And instead, we get a completely made up one that sounds horrible. It just doesn't sound good. And it was an omen, right? That it's just like, oh no, uh-oh, uh-oh.
Yeah. No. It's they. Yeah. Whoever came up with it. Well, what's worse, the person who came up with the title or the person who approved the title?
The approver, because I'm assuming it's a higher level executive who probably was in on the decisions of even buying it, and they spent $250 million on nothing because they basically got nothing. Yeah, I'd say the person who approved that title, and the fact that this is run through Amazon is like the biggest company in the world. They have a massive marketing budget, probably one of the biggest marketing departments ever. It's got to be up there, and everybody just was like, "Yep, that sounds good." They just signed off on this. Nobody at any point was like, maybe not. Maybe not the rings. Maybe we don't do that.
Hold on, Elrod. I'd like to
Maybe somebody was just copying down somebody with a stuttering problem.
Elrod,
he was going to call it something else, but he said the rings twice.
Yeah, the rings. That's like, yeah, no need for that. Elrond, we've proven that Thundera is the communist. Okay, so I'm not the communist. Thundera's the communist. So
I'm the communist. That's right.
We're gonna take that off the table. So
if it means destroying the corpos, then come on, comrade. Let's get this done. Let's get it done.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Again, I like to reserve judgment. I'm not saying it's going to be good. I'm not saying it's going to be bad. I just want to see the trailer look, fun. But I mean, it could be like Game of Thrones or something like that, where like it has a lot of ups and downs. Like Game of Thrones, like it had some really great seasons, and then it had some absolute garbage seasons, right? And unfortunately ended on a super low note that made no fucking sense, right? So
no sense. The whole season didn't make sense. It was, and I didn't even really watch Game of Thrones that much. But I knew enough to know that was nonsense. I was like, oh my god, that's horrible.
You know what it felt like? Nope. It felt like, you ever been in a test and it's like 50 questions and you're taking your time and you're like, and all of a sudden the teacher's like, "All right, you got 1 minute left." And you're like, "Oh crap! See,
Oh
see,
crap! Pop,
see,
pop, 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 pop.
see,
Yep.
see."
Yep.
That's what that last season felt like.
Maybe throw a B in there because you're like, it's got to be one of them, B or C.
Yeah.
You know what I like about the whole Game of Thrones thing? I never watched an episode of Game of Thrones, but I remember how I know so many people who loved it and how deep they got into it. And when I used to complain about the franchises I liked getting screwed up, like Transformers and Marvel, and they were like, why are you being like that? They can't do it perfect. It's an adaptation, and they always throw it's the non-canon stuff. And then when that last season of Game of Thrones came out, and so many people was pissed off, and I'm like, oh, now you get it.
A little bit of
Now
short
you get it.
Yeah. Sorry about that, guys. I'm back.
Was it an old lady again, Chester?
Yes, it was a group of them. They gave me a crate of peaches. What the fuck am I supposed to do with a crate of peaches?
Eat them and make some wine, man. That's what
You
you're
send
supposed to
me
do
some
with 'em.
peaches. Shit, I'll eat some
You told me you
peaches.
could eat a peach for hours.
Yes,
Oh.
but a crate of them? Oh,
Yes.
sorry. Oh,
Move it to Japan. They eat a lot of peaches.
yeah,
Apparently.
they do. Well, honestly,
I do love some peaches.
The Japanese
Peaches are
do
good
make
time.
the best peaches. That's one of the few things they do better than other people.
What about
you got
their
options? You got peach cobbler, peach wine.
No, I'll just have to spread it around. Just give it out to people.
What about the weird shaped watermelons, Chester? Are those any good? Have you ever had one?
Not really.
Because
American watermelons are far better. But then
That's
watermelons are from the Americas, so I mean it's their homeland, so it makes sense.
I've never met anybody who doesn't love a good watermelon. Never met that person.
Yeah,
I don't want to meet that person. Actually, get out of here. Get out of here. Go away with your watermelon hatred, your bigotry against the watermelon race. Get out of here. It's delicious.
Well, what I'll have to do is I'll have to give peaches to everyone, and then that's going to prompt them to give something back to me, which is going to prompt my wife to give something back to them as the world turns.
The never-ending omiyaku, or
the omiyagi senso, right?
Like it's a twisted cycle that never ends. Once you're in it, you never leave.
You never leave. Yeah, it's true.
Leave it to the Japanese to find a way to turn nicety into a competition.
Oh,
I love it,
dude. But I mean, I literally had 4 ladies showing up that were dragging a cart with a actual crate of peaches. I asked them. I said, "How did you get the crate on the thing?" And they said, "Oh, one of the fishermen. They dragged them off the dock to help him put a crate of peaches on their little cart, and they dragged it all the way. I mean, that's got to be." Well, I don't know. That's good. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, maybe 500 yards, 600 yards. They had to drag that cart.
Just to give you some peaches.
Just to give me some peaches.
Man, Chester, even the old ladies, huh?
Yeah, I know.
Just all over you.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it is what it is. My wife just sighs. She calls me the Bachan magnet.
Oh no!
all the Japanese women think he's pretty fly for a white guy.
They do.
That's what I'm hearing here.
They do. Yeah. I don't know. The Bachans love me over here. I don't know what it is. Maybe Ben can help me give me some insight. He was here. Why the middle-aged to old ladies absolutely adore me, Ben? What is that?
They adored me too. It's the facial hair.
Yeah.
You're right. It, yeah.
That's what it
and
is.
The size. You're large men. They're not used to that over there. The tiny little Japanese men. Women like big men. I don't know.
They do.
That seems to be universal. They like big men.
Yeah, they're sweet old ladies, though. I'm happy, but they got to. That's why I was going. I was trying to get away, but they asked me questions. How's the son? How's the daughter? That kind of stuff, old lady stuff. But nevertheless, we'll move on to the next story. But they had an opportunity here to just do something completely different with Lord of the Rings by just going to the east and staying away from all of the established stuff. They could have done something fun with it. And this goes back to what I've been saying the whole time. Just leave other people's characters alone. Just don't. If you want to retell a character story that's popular, then be true to it. Otherwise, do your own thing, man. And it irritates me a lot with this because they could have simply made, complete their own complete fantasy based in the Tolkien world, going to the Middle East or Africa or something like that. They could have easily done that, and they could have just call it Tolkien inspired, right? Or based on J.R.R. Tolkien's book Lord of the Rings or whatever, or the
So
Silmarillion or what
you're
have you.
you're talking about the adventures of the two blue wizards,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Where they're
sure. Why not? Right?
like
Why not?
they're just
Right?
doing something to the east, but we have like no details on what they look like
Yep.
or what the problems are, and
Yep.
there's like
Yep, you
nothing.
could have made them. You could
Exactly.
have made them anything. You could have made them any race you want.
Sure.
Could have even potentially changed their gender around.
You
You
could have
could have done
even
all kinds of
created your
stuff.
own unique races. What?
Oh, what? Now you're just getting outrageous. All right.
Yeah.
If it's not derivative, I don't want nothing to do with it.
Well,
All
you
right.
know what I mean. And you could have had fun with it. And look
Yeah.
at the absolute debacle this has turned into. My God, dude, they're getting ratioed everywhere they go. Anything they
Yep.
say. And I put this up here, and Elrod's giving me shit for it, but that's what Elrod does. But
Yeah.
I put it up here as a point that this is Petioon. This
Yes.
is, yeah, okay. We know Lord of the Rings. We know he misspoke. Okay, yeah, yada, yada, yada. But every little thing they are digging into now, the littlest, smallest little misspeak, right?
Yes.
This is how bad Amazon has screwed this up, dude. Right?
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, you're messing with you're messing with a sacred cow here. This is
Yeah.
one of the major sacred cows, and
This is it.
it is,
I would say.
and they could have escaped all of this so
Yes.
easily, dude. Oh my God,
And
they could have had all the black elves
they
they
could have even
want.
stayed. They could have stayed in the area they wanted, or the time frame they wanted, because we don't know anything about the East in this time frame, really.
No,
So you could just go crazy. You
well,
could
we
tell
know
all
it's at
kinds of crazy
war. We
stories.
know it's at war. We know
Yes,
that.
we know there's that, but aside from that, we know very little. You could go totally crazy. Tolkien's lore is monstrous and deep, and very very thick, I guess is a good word for it. There's a lot there. There's a lot of meat on the bone. Even when he doesn't give you much, he gives you enough. There's more than enough from the Blue Wizards. You could have told an interesting story. It doesn't even have to necessarily be about them specifically. They could just be part of it. And you could have done really cool stuff. But instead, what we're going to get here, at least from my perspective, is an absolute shame because I think Ben's right. I think it looks really good. At least the CG and stuff looks really good. The set pieces look really good. The backgrounds and things all look great. I don't know how any of these people act. I don't know if any of them are good actors or not, so I can't judge them on that yet. But it honestly feels like this is going to be a massive letdown. And I think, like you said, you have a massive fan base. The Lord of the Rings fan base is one of the biggest there is, and they've turned against it
They're not having
almost
it.
completely.
Yeah, they're
It
not
is
having it.
insane to watch these big releases get ratioed like this. It's insane
yeah.
when you go out there and you look on social media. If people are talking about this, unless they're just like a full-on toady, they're not happy. There's just
Yeah.
a lot of anger
Yeah.
about it, and it's not even political. They're just not happy with what they're
Right,
seeing, with the
everything.
changes.
They've become Petioon is the reason why I put it up here.
Yeah.
But I mean, we were
Yeah.
talking about going with the Blue Wizards, which is a great idea. Here's another thing they could have done. They could have done the aftermath. The
Yeah.
elves and the dwarves and the halflings are reducing, right?
Yes.
And new migrations of humans are coming in. You could have done
Could have
the
done the
aftermath,
orc genocide
or
when Aragorn spends the next whatever it is, like 80 years, I think, him and the dwarves wiping out the rest of the orcs.
Can I ask just not a controversial question, but like a slightly devil's advocate question here?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So let's say they did shift and didn't do it this way, but they said, okay, we're going to tell a completely new story. It's going to be the Blue Wizards. There's not a lot in the lore. Like, we just know that they go to the east to handle a problem, right? There's not a lot written. Do we even know, like, again, you talked about gender swapping. They just call them the Blue Wizards, right? They don't call them
no.
men or
Yep.
anything like
Could have
that.
been female. You're right.
Yep.
So do you think, like, let's say they did gender swap and they had, like, one of the Blue Wizards was a black female, the other one's, a male or something like that, but and they do, again, we'll call it the wokeism or whatever, but, like, do you think that had they done that storyline and then filled it with all that stuff, there would still be as much
No,
kickback, as
no,
much controversy?
nowhere
Not
near
as
as
much.
much. Nowhere near as much.
No,
No,
Yeah,
because
not
much
as
less.
there was not, other than like you said, that there was these wizards. There was not much there, so you would have room to play there.
right.
Yeah,
It's one of those things, and it goes back to what I was saying about Star Trek. It's these hacks, because they can't say this wasn't intentional. That they, when you had Tolkien's son, and the moment he dies, body ain't even cold yet, and they fire Shipley,
of course.
Mm-hmm.
and then
Yeah.
put in this other person.
Yeah, of course.
That's what makes a lot of people mad when you see moves like this. You see that's clear stuff.
That's true.
Now, like
But
you said, if they went with your idea, where you had something you could play with, because there wasn't nothing really established there other than something you were made aware of.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I don't think there wouldn't have been that, because we I'm not a Lord of the Rings expert by any means, but one thing we do notice that Tolkien, for things that he focused on, he put a ton of detail into it. So when you have something like these blue wizards that have next to no detail behind them, there was your canvas.
yeah,
Right.
no, it would have been the smart move. And no, Ben, there would have been some pushback because obviously the black lesbian female is put in there for political reasons. But a lot of people like me, for instance, I'd be freaking right, wringing my hands, waiting in anticipation, dude. Right?
Especially if it looked this good, if it had
Oh
this
my
kind of
God,
CG
yeah,
budget and stuff.
please.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
dude, I'd be all on board. Because I don't really care about that, especially with the wizards. You understand what they are. I mean, let's speak in more modern terminology here. They're basically
Mhm.
angels that have been forced into
That's right.
human form, is what they
Right.
are.
That's right.
So they
Yeah.
could take any form. They make them look old for a reason, so they're wizened and easily approachable, and makes it easier for
Right.
humans to listen to them. That's why they look like that, right? And you could take an old lady, an old wise woman, and do the same thing, because we listen to older women just as much as we do older men, don't we? Maybe even more so, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Mhm.
you could easily have done the Blue Wizards in any way you wanted. And that's my point, and I think a lot of points a lot of people are making. They could have done something wholly original, done all their little nonsense, and only a very small percent would have cared, and most people would have been excited about this. But the fact
And if
that
it was good,
and
it
it's
would have
good,
wiped
because
away the rest of it.
dude, I guarantee you this is going to be good. I guarantee you the CG is awesome. The acting is going to be outstanding. I guarantee you this is going to be amazing. But that's not what people are pissed off about. They're pissed off that you're changing canon. That's what they're angry about.
The story. Like they're not. Yeah, people aren't going to be upset about the acting or the
No.
CGI. They're going to be upset about the story, because it comes down to so many different elements, right? You can have great story but terrible CGI, right? We were just talking about that with Star Trek, right? That is Star Trek. Great writing, good acting, terrible CGI and stuff like that, right? And so this is going to be one of those cases where it's great CGI, great effects, great acting, but the story is just going to be kind of all over the place, right?
Yep. Yeah, no, that's what it is, and it's
Well,
a shame.
We'll see if the acting's great. Hopefully, it is.
I think
you
it
I'm
will
not.
be, dude.
I don't know these. I don't know any of these actors well enough to judge that. And we haven't really seen anything. Like we haven't seen a scene. Like because sometimes when they put out these shows or they put out a movie, they'll release a whole scene, right, and let you see some of it. We haven't seen anything like that. We've just seen trailers and snippets. So we'll see. Hopefully, it is. But I have very little faith when they can't even name something correctly. I
Well,
have very little
that's
faith.
true. But keep in mind, we've seen on a lot of stuff. There are a lot of unknown character actors who are really, really good, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Really good.
But you know what? You guys just brought it up, but I think that's another good point, because we with a lot of these shows and movies that show up on these streaming services,
mhm.
they usually have like at least one big name actor to like pull you in, like how Amazon has Chris Pratt on Terminal List, and that show Apple TV has with Jason Momoa and whatnot. And like now that you mention it, like who's that big name in this series that like would actually grab people's attention?
Oh, they can't afford that, Grimlock. I told they spent $250 below the red, right? They can't afford a big name. That's gone.
True.
They just spent they could buy 5 South American countries with the money they spent. What's another 20 mil?
Yeah, no, fair. I think my point is that they don't have to. There are some really good actors who we don't know. The Terminal List is a good
I mean that.
example. Great actors all around. You only know one of them. The Old Man,
Yeah,
of course, has got two of the biggest names in Hollywood as far as acting ability. Sure,
I
but
gotta see
everything
that. It's,
around them is good. Everything is good. And
Hmm.
And
the Latin people, the Middle Eastern people, the black people, what have you, doesn't matter. There's really good actors across the board that are working. They're just not known.
Yeah.
I kind of like not having a big name in there because honestly, a big name kind of ruins the immersion for me for stuff like this.
Mm.
That if you threw in a Chris Pratt or whoever or whatever, it doesn't for me. Like that's what I loved about the original Lord of the Rings movies. Besides like Elijah Wood, who even at that time he was mostly just like a character actor, like a kid actor. You didn't really know any of those names. They weren't big names at that time in the
Right.
original Lord of the Rings, right? And so I kind of like having like no big name in
Yeah,
there because for
that's
me that
fine.
kind of ruins the immersion.
It can. It can.
Yeah.
It can also give you one of those wow moments. But I know what you're saying. Elrod
Yeah.
Elrod's got a bug up his ass today, dude. Damn, Elrod. Let's move on here. Freaking, he's all upset about shit. Now I'm curious. Here, go ahead and read this.
Oh boy, this is a headline. Star Wars hits grand slam of woke identity politics, casts a black, lesbian, and non-binary. Oh, these people. Intersectional feminist Amanda Stenberg as the Acolyte series.
Amandla
Oh,
Stenberg.
sorry, Amandla. What is that name? As the Acolyte series lead. What is
Okay.
Amandla? Who came
Okay.
up with that?
Oh well. Here's my question. I put this in here very very simply for this question. Okay. So what do we got here? This is Amandla Stenberg's own description of her pronouns. So let me see here. Black,
Yeah.
lesbian, non-binary, intersectional, feminist. Okay, that's five adjectives. Uh, she looks like a normal girl. Have things come full circle now?
I think we're at this point now where somehow in America we have allowed identities to become titles instead of just who you are. So now we're back to the old days where, like you'd walk into a court, say a king's court, and the Duke of blah, 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 and they'd have like 6 titles.
Right, right,
That's where we're at now.
right.
But it's with identities and political affiliations. I was frustrated reading it, if you couldn't tell. Like, geez, how far are we going here? Can she just have a name? Can she just please have a name?
Well,
Please.
yeah, but
And then I got to Amandla and my brain broke because that's not a name. What
it's
is that?
not. But
Make that up.
but my question is that okay, we have all of this going on, but yet she just looks like a normal girl.
Yeah.
I
isn't
don't I
if I'm
don't
not mistaken, isn't this the girl from the Hunger Games? Not the main one, but
I
she was in
have
that.
no idea who she is. I
Because
haven't a
I
clue.
because
remember.
she's actually done some comic work, and that's where I know her from.
Yeah, she's I
Yeah.
mean, she's cute-ish kind of.
Get nice thighs. Um,
Fine. I just it doesn't matter. I don't care in the least, actually. This is some new character. You do whatever the hell you want to do with their headland. But I just it just struck me as odd because you look at the pictures, not the art, but the actual shots of the lady here. Okay, she's youngish. She's not that young. But
Oh, they
okay.
did show her comic in the article. Okay,
Yeah, I
I just
mean,
saw it.
I guess it's based on taste, but she just looks like a normal girl to me in all those pictures. But yet she's stating to be something different. I'm confused. I don't understand. I just feel like we've gone full circle and come back to the beginning again. Can you explain it to me, Ben? You're the one who understands this frickin' lib speak.
Yeah, I mean, it's not really that complicated. It is kind of like what Thundero said, but like to be honest, like it's not like she's coming up and giving a business card that says, Amanda Steinberg, I am blah 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 blah. Right? This is a
I think
little
she
bit of
is
I'm gonna be
actually.
honest. That would be
I think
pretty
she
fucking
is.
hilarious if she did.
no, but
I
like
think
even
that's
her
exactly what
pronouns.
she's doing, actually.
No, her pronouns are still she they. Right? But it's basically a very long-winded of saying, I'm tomboyish. Right? Is kind of what it comes down to. Right?
Huh?
And
We used to
from
just say sporty.
right, but that's the
got the legs
you
for
know
it.
the more modern take on it, right? But that's where from in this example, right? So it is what it is. It's not a big deal.
No, it's actually not, because I'm not going to watch this anyway. Why would I care? But especially from Headland, screw her. But I'm not. This is definitely a mulatto girl. This is not a black girl. But she's actually kind of cute-ish in this picture. The other one's less so. And you guys know me. I'm not about the mulattoes or the blacks, as far as what I find personally attractive. But she's not a bad looking girl.
We know you got rice fever. We know you.
Hey now, hey, but that's a lot of adjectives, Ben.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. She has 5 adjectives, Ben. Anyway,
so you're saying her putting all her titles down would just make a killing in Scrabble?
It would, dude. Yeah. But here's the question I have. Is anybody interested in the Acolyte series at all? Is anyone interested in particular knowing that this is Headland shit that's coming out? Anybody?
No.
Anybody?
No. I'm going to be honest. I'm more interested in reading the comic she did with Stranger than anything Star Wars, because if there's anything more deserving of some go away heat than Star Trek, it's Star Wars. I know that Disney ain't gonna listen to a derp like me, but give them a rest. Shut down everything Star Wars for 2 years, just all of it. Whatever plans you got, shut all that shit down. Just let it go. You've irritated the fans beyond repair. I mean, let it go for a couple of years. Come back, and maybe you might get some people to watch.
The only way, for me personally, Disney could ever recoup my support, which would be a task with Disney and me. The only way that could happen is if they somehow fixed Luke Skywalker. What they did to Luke Skywalker in The Last Jedi is unforgivable, and I will not forgive them until they make recompense for it. I don't care how good the next show is they make. I don't care if they put him in other stuff, CGI him into... No, because the canon ending for Luke is a titty milk sucking hermit who dies because he was tired. That's my canon ending for Luke Skywalker.
It's ridiculous. It is, but they don't care about Luke Skywalker at all. Matter of fact, they clearly wanted to kill them all off. I wish they just would have done their own thing, and then you didn't have to pay George Lucas a dime. Dumbasses. That would have been much easier. But I read this before from Headland. But she said that this series would be female-centric, meaning it centers around a female protagonist. Well, thank you. We're all idiots, Headland. But I don't think that necessarily excludes men from that space, Headland continued. Listen, I relate to male characters all the time. Like, I root for Mando. Like, I root for Luke. I like deeply, well, not sure how much I care about Han Solo anymore. When I was little, I really liked him. When I watched him now, I kind of like, gosh, a lot of my psyche makes sense now. Okay. All joking aside, I think that okay. Well, I'm glad you're a good speaker, Headland, and you're in charge of shit. I think that an inclusive space means an inclusive space, said the showrunner. But at the same time, I think that just because something has a female protagonist doesn't mean it's only meant for women. No, of course not. Well, that's not what you're trying to do. No, let me finish. That's not the point. The point is you're trying to make men take it. You're trying to make us suck the dick. That's what you're doing, Headland. Fuck off. Because we've been dealing with female protagonists in 90% of our shit for the past 20 plus years. This is not new. You're not interesting. You can fuck right off, Headland. Fuck right off.
I agree. Chester's very angry, but I agree. I think it's interesting, though, that
I thought Chester was getting ready to... I thought Chester was getting ready to say, you could meet me in the Omni in the cage, Headland.
Damn right, Headland. Damn right.
I think it's interesting, though, the tonal shift, right? So a few years ago, right around the time of The Last Jedi, the females who were doing a lot of the speaking publicly about The Last Jedi and about Star Wars in general were very anti-male. Very much had a message of young men aren't wanted, especially white men.
Yeah.
And it like some of them were pretty much just straight said that. They had their Forces Female campaign, all this stuff. These sorts of things are, whether intentional or not, and I think it's intentional, are going to take a young man and he's just going to be like, oh, well, okay, well, what? That's not for me then, I guess. Not because it's being marketed as, quote, for women, but because when you do that, it turns a lot of men off. They're not interested in watching things that are marketed against them or marketed away from them. Why would they be? That's what marketing's for.
Sure.
So I think the tonal shift here, whether it's come down from on high or if she's just smarter, is interesting to see, and I welcome it. I much more welcome, as she used the word, I hate the word, but she uses the word inclusive. If you're gonna say you're inclusive, you have to mean it. You can't be, well, I'm inclusive for everybody else, but these guys, those guys,
they're exclusive. You know that's true. This is nothing about inclusiveness at all. And it's not. It's nonsense. As if Hollywood hasn't always been that way. I mean, God, Hollywood has been a wreck of a liberal progressive shithole for frickin' 100 years. What the hell are they even talking about? But this lady in particular makes me mad. This one, I don't like this one.
I don't like her. It's funny you say that because I know a lot of people, when you tell them things like, we didn't genocide the Native Americans, they lose their mind. And they lose their mind because they've watched a lot of Hollywood movies. And they think that what happened was a bunch of white people showed up and killed a bunch of really nice Indians. That's what they genuinely think. They very simplistic terms. And that's not what happened. Now, there was some of that, sure. But that's not what made it happen.
Like the late 19th century, yeah, that was definitely
yes.
Yeah.
But the Hollywood is largely responsible for this mythos of, as they call it, the noble savage. I don't even like that term.
Well, that's my point that I made, is this is nothing new. But this kind of nonsense, because, you know, if you go back, and I challenge any of you to put together a little report on this. Homework! The 21st century, let's just go with the 21st century. Go back and look at, and I'm talking about the good and the bad, look at every TV show that's come out. Every single TV show that's come out, every movie that's come out. Give me a ratio percentage of female lead to male lead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Because you'll see that for probably closer to 30 years, but it's certainly the past 20 years, it's been all female all the time. So this nonsense that we need a female voice, this is way past done, Hedlund, and all the others are on board with that. Some of it's good, and a lot of it's not. Because, you know, honestly, they throw a lot of shit at the wall and most of it doesn't stick. Fair enough, right? I'm not getting into quality here. I'm just talking about intent. So women have been put at the forefront of entertainment for a very long time. The lifetime of a lot of these people who are making noise, actually, right? So I don't know what they're complaining about. We need more of this. We need more of that, because the simple reality is your entire life, Mr. and Mrs. Zoomer, or whatever pronoun you fucking like, has been pro-female. Your entire existence has been. So what are you on about exactly? Now, I don't really care about this show, and I know a lot of people don't. If it's good on you, man. Maybe you'll get a spark like Mandalorian did. I mean, who knows, right? But, you know, it's just, this is old hat, and they're acting like it's live and now.
Yeah.
It's not, dude. It's just not. Now, I know Ben has been stewing over there wanting to yell at me, so go ahead. Go ahead.
I mean, I think your numbers are wrong. I
just gave you homework, did I not?
And I'm looking at the homework. I'm looking at like data on it. Like the best data I have from within the sci-fi superhero genre, films with female leads from 2009 to 2018, they constituted 14%. Males constituted 55%, and there was a co-male to female lead of 31%. Right. So, like, I mean,
50-50 at the worst.
No, it's actually much higher than that, especially when you go look at police drama and procedurals. It's pretty much all.
Well, he was saying just sci-fi.
I know he did it intentionally. He thinks he's clever.
Man, somebody gave him some peaches and he's fired up about it.
Like, God forbid I stay within the fucking genre that we're talking about. Like, if you want to open it up to all fucking like media, then go fuck yourself, because I'm not going to have that stupid conversation.
I gave you homework.
They would have to include romance novels, which have nothing but female leads, and I'm fucked from a fucking perspective of percentages. Okay,
Thank you.
so
I know.
I'm not playing a
Thank
game.
you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're about to see two silverbacks engage in physical combat. Stay away.
Here, okay. Thank you very much.
But you know my point. You get my point, right? This is old hat. They've been doing this a long time. This is nothing new,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And fair enough, because there have been because me personally, I don't. I mean, I'm being angry for the fun of it, but I don't. I've certainly seen some good female lead shit. I don't have a problem with that.
Absolutely.
That's not even the issue. The issue is that we constantly hearing that it needs to be more, and it's like, well, you're already in the plus. What are you talking about? And I give another example with the black cinema, black actors. Now, I've made a comment several times here that one of the positive things that's come out of this whole woke nonsense we've been inundated with of the past decade is the fact that a lot of really good black actors have shown up, and I'm happy about that. I'm very happy
Yeah.
about that.
Well,
Yeah, go ahead.
It's the way, it's that disingenuous way they frame it. It's like as though
Right.
it doesn't happen, and it's like, dude. I mean, since we talk about the race and gender swapping, I think one of the more insulting ones I ever saw was Doctor Strange, where you race and gender swap the fucking ancient one to an
Yeah.
old white woman.
Yeah, you did.
Like-
Irish lady. It was weird.
Like y'all talk about representation. You literally
Well,
took
because-
Asian representation away.
Because
to
their
give a
brains
role.
are twisted.
Oh.
They think that they think it's a characterization. Yeah, they're twisted in their head. But go ahead, Ben.
ancient one from Tibet, and they didn't want to deal with China on having a Tibetan.
Yeah, you're probably right. It's that simple.
It's funny to me how
corporate
much
speak.
Disney-
But I'm saying you could have had him. You could have had him been Chinese. You could have literally. He's with these Tibetan monks, but the ancient one's Chinese, because look, most people ain't going that deep into it. The average average person who watched Doctor Strange don't know shit about the comics. So
I think they were just trying to explicitly distance themselves as much as possible.
Yeah,
so
because
just,
of China. Fuck China.
Yeah,
All right, I get you.
I mean, that's,
But
I mean, I get
finish.
it. But
I'm trying to make a black point.
a black
Grimlock.
All right.
he's
All
black
right.
Grimlock.
I am. I'm
Black it up.
I'm dealing with the racials. All right, no, seriously. It's got to the point now, though, that if you watch anything coming out of the West, it's as if 50 to 70% of the population's black when you look at the movie. And it's like, huh? They're like 12% at best. At best. Now, if they didn't go and kill more people than have died in every war in the history of ever, they would probably be a higher percentage. But
I was gonna. He beat me to it. Damn it.
But here's
I
my
was gonna say-
Joshua, black point.
I was gonna say, Chester, to your point, that might change now that Roe v. Wade's been overturned. Maybe we'll have some more of them. But
Oh
Go
no,
on.
they'll just all move to California and they'll kill them up to 12 years old now. But good on you, California. But I mean, the thing is though, it's not representative. It's not equal. It's not what America or any other place looks like anymore.
Yeah.
It's way overrepresented. So if you really cared about equality, which they scream about, which I just read about her, inclusive, right? Well, you clearly aren't paying attention there, young lady.
Can I give you a different perspective on this?
Go ahead.
So you and I come from a generation where it was more of a show me, don't tell me.
Yep.
And I'll give you some examples, right? We grew up with Ripley,
Oh, yeah.
amazing, strong female character.
Yep.
Right? And we grew up with, you already mentioned it earlier, like the Terminator series, where we had another, especially in Terminator 2, holy crap, she could fucking kill me just with a look on her face, right?
And did anyone say, but she's a lady?
But so the reason this shit never bothers me is because I don't look at it from that perspective that you guys do. I just see it as part of the marketing and advertising campaign, right?
Mhm.
Because that's what they're trying to do is market and advertise it. It doesn't. But again, show me, don't tell me. Like, do a good movie, and then I'll, it'll all be fine.
Fair enough.
I see this as part of the standard marketing and advertising, and that's what it is, and that's what it comes on. And that's why they write shit like this, is because they're trying to market and advertise it in a specific way, and that's really all it is.
Yeah, well, no, you're probably right. From their point of view, yeah.
As the resident Negro,
yeah.
Oh no.
I get what Ben's saying, but I'm gonna take the road that most people don't want to admit that exists, because people act like Twitter represents, social media represents the social media representation of black people. You got a lot of low self-esteem having Negroes out here. Mm-hmm. And they see this blatant pandering, because that's what it is. Mm-hmm. It's worked. It started in the 60s, and it's only gotten worse. Mm-hmm. And it especially works on black women. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get struck for that one again, but it's true. But it's insulting. And perfect example, Black Panther. I would not watch Black Panther in the theaters on principle, because the freaking the way it was marketed, and then the way black people acted towards it, as though there was never a black-centric movie with a black male protagonist in the history of fucking cinema. Yeah. Like all of a sudden, here we are, 2018, and it's never been done before. And I'm like, wait a minute. I grew up watching all of this stuff.
Tons of black stuff.
I mean, and you're insulting everything that came before it. You're shitting on. It's not just the way it's advertised. That's shitting on people's legacy, because like when I was a kid, you had, say what people want about the blaxploitation era. You had movies like Shaft.
Shaft was awesome. He was awesome.
And Dolomite. And Up on Saturday Night, and they was great. Those movies, many of those movies actually still hold up as pretty good movies today.
Shout out to Last Dragon. That shit still rocks.
Oh, the Last Dragon. Actually, we were just talking about that. Last night. How funny would it be if they freaking just race swapped everything in The Last Dragon and had it starring like fucking Pete Davidson as Bruce Leroy.
Like, oh god, don't give Pete Davidson more work.
It's a good movie, dude. I love that movie, dude.
Yeah, but they acted like all of this. Like I always bring it up, and most people kind of scoff at it. I even remember Meteor Man and how cool I thought Meteor Man as a kid was.
Sure,
I loved Meteor Man as a kid. Loved it.
And my childhood, as far as TV was probably predominantly black. I mean, they don't talk about Red Fox. They don't talk about Bill Cosby. There's so many great stuff that I grew up with.
Well, Robert Townsend, who starred in Meteor Man. How much? Not just that. All the movies, like there was a period from like 85 to the early 2000s where Robert Townsend spearheaded so many great black-centric media, whether it was TV shows. Dude. Or movies, or even HBO specials.
The Wayans brothers, Eddie Murphy. Yeah, come on.
Yeah. And when they had Black Panther, this is the first ever, and I'm seeing these dumbasses out here wearing dashikis and shit. And I'm like, you simple, stupid motherfuckers.
Right. I mean, because if this conversation was back with Sidney Poitier back in the 60s, all right, I understand that conversation. But he made that point. He broke Stan that freaking
Wait a minute. You just gave me an idea. Stan Lee, you dropped the ball. We could have had a Black Panther movie with Sidney Poitier as T'Challa.
Oh my god, dude! That would have been badass, dude. Yeah, but I mean,
I got the two trump cards that you guys have both left out. So Disney owns the MCU. They basically made the MCU. The MCU, let's be honest, it exists because of Blade. That's just the truth.
Yeah. Blade was awesome.
Blade was a success, and the reason of Blade's success is why we got the X-Men movies, is why we got the Spider-Man movies. All of that led to the MCU.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. And when I was growing up, and when Grimlock was growing up, in the mid-90s to the early mid-2000s, the biggest movie star in the world, and it wasn't close, was a black guy. Was Will Smith.
Oh yeah, Will's awesome, dude. Until
I
recently.
mean, hey, if you look at it for a 20-year period, you could argue Will Smith and Denzel Washington was the two
Oh
biggest
God,
names in
Denzel.
Hollywood.
But
And
Denzel
if you
still,
wanted some money,
He's still a huge actor.
he is,
Like,
and he
yeah,
he. What is it the young folks say, Ben? He's based.
Yes.
yes.
oh yeah,
Yeah,
Yes.
and here's the other thing that I also gonna mention, that one of the things about the pandering that has really pissed me off is the fear, and this is coming, and this is where I'm going to defend all the non-white people, because you've been pushed into this corner. You didn't do this on your own. Where you can't write good black female characters because you get shit from all the special interest group, the feminists and the black people. We don't have an amazing black villain in any comics, in any real media.
No.
Like, we've been talking for months now how cool it would be to see Doctor Doom, who could be Doctor Doom, and how if you did an MCU movie right now and they did the post-credit screens, and all you would have to see is his damn feet, and you would know that's Doctor Doom immediately, and everybody in that movie theater would lose their minds.
Yep.
And there's no black villain. There's no black villain of that level, and it's a fucking crime that there isn't.
Well, because they're
I would
afraid.
love to see it.
It's
Because yes, they're
ridiculous.
afraid.
They're
won't write
not
them as
just
humans.
human; they're black, right? They're
Right.
something that's not human, which is the
Like-
issue.
That's right.
I do have a question for you, particularly, Grimlock. In the
Uh-oh.
culture that is the
Fire away.
blacks, are there a lot of lesbians? There seems to be a lot of lesbians.
That has grown a lot. Like I would say post 2000s, that's
But
become more
I
and
thought
more
the
of a
black
thing.
man had the big dick.
Well,
Well, you can
That's
go
the
to your
rumor.
local erotic shop and buy one just as big. So that don't really matter no more.
Hmm.
Yeah, capitalism solves everything, Chester. It even replaced men.
So
Just
That's-
come here, folks. When you want to hear the big questions asked, you get them answered. But I'm joking, but then I'm not joking, because when I was younger, like I said, when I was back in those days, we didn't really, and Thundera made this point a week or so ago, I think. We didn't even use the word racism; it was prejudice. Right.
That's right.
And it wasn't, my grandpa called the black peoples coloreds. And the generation just after me went with the African American, which is stupid. And now I'm not sure, what are they called now?
Black.
POCs? Okay.
That is I find that one insulting too. I'm not a box of crayons, motherfucker.
Yeah, fair enough.
POC, fuck out of here.
But for when I was a kid, it was that dude. And if I had to give a descriptor, I would say that black dude. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But and I grew up, I had a lot of black friends around me. I had Italian friends. I had all kind of stuff where I was, right?
And the BIPOC one is personally funny because it sounds like Tupac had a gay cousin.
Well,
So-
Tupac's overrated. But
He is.
he's way overrated. But anyway, but back in those days, of all the communities of people that I interacted with, we're all New Englanders, really. But the most homophobic were the black people, actually.
Still
I
are.
mean, they were very homophobic. So,
Still are.
because a lot of the rest of us didn't really care much. It really wasn't that big a conversation point. But the blacks didn't care for it, dude. So I'm really surprised to see so many black men and women coming out as homosexual in that community, particularly. Have things changed that radically with that community, though?
Well, it's funny because it's like, all right, for most part, black people would still be probably considered the most homophobic group of any particular group in the country. It's still the case. But at the same time, like in the 80s, like when Luther Vandross was at his peak, everybody knew Luther was gay, but even though he never said it publicly, everybody knew it. But Luther, by like the time I was like 10 years old, like saying something bad about Luther was almost as bad as like saying, like, taking God's name in vain.
Are you telling me Luther Vandross is gay?
Yeah.
What?
Next, Liberace's gay. I mean, come on.
Well, I know Liberace's gay. We're all well aware. But Luther Vandross? Really?
Yeah, he was gay.
Don't go telling me Al Green's gay. Don't you do it.
No. Oh, no.
Thank God.
Al Green has had too many. I've seen some of the stories about Al Green.
God, like it's a death sentence.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
So,
I didn't know that about Luther, but it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
But the thing is with Luther, though,
Well,
he's like one of the most underrated voices of all time, dude. Luther Vandross is ridiculously good.
He never made it a big thing. It's kind of like how Freddie Mercury didn't make it a thing until he till like literally he didn't even say anything until like a week before he died. So
well, from quote unquote Freddie Mercury, my dick's not very big. That's why I'm always looking for bigger ones. So you know.
Gotta love him.
Freddie Mercury. But yeah, no, I don't know. It doesn't matter. I don't really care. But
yeah, but
most people weird.
Don't care. It's like,
especially
it's like,
well, they're really promoting the black lesbian, though. It seems to be something that's the iconic get.
Well, it's kind of the same thing in the heavy metal community. You know, you would think, heavy metal fans, first thing you would probably think is homophobic, but
no,
you don't take Rob Halford's name in vain.
Damn right you don't.
In the face of a metal fan.
You dare, I will fucking blast you. Yeah.
So,
well, a lot of that is simple. A lot of that's simple. It's because those terms. It's why I don't like those. They're slurs. Let's not call them what they are: homophobic, racist. It's a slur.
Yeah,
you can say it can be used correctly. Sure, whatever. The reason I don't like them is because it makes it too easy. It makes it too easy to denounce somebody. When let's say somebody says something that you dislike, like I say homophobic shit, I'm sure to Ben all the time. He takes it as homophobic. I don't give a shit about gay people one way or the other. I'm not a agnostic to them or antagonistic to them or not. But it's very easy to put a label on somebody and then, okay, they're this now, so I can just basically ignore what they say, or I can just brush them aside. Nobody, or very few people, are that simple. There's a lot of people who have a lot of opinions or say things, and it's just not that easy. The human race isn't as easy as the labels we slap upon it. And I think that's a big problem, and one of the main reasons why I'm against like this ridiculous title she apparently has. Because it's, what are we doing? Why are we trying to be so descriptive? She's a female first. I mean, she's a girl, obviously. Her name's Amandla, which is weird. But it doesn't matter at the end of the day. Just be a normal, decent person, and people will probably treat you with decency at the end of the day. And it's why I don't like that stuff. I don't like it when you have leftoids out here, and there I just used one too. We have leftoids out here who are throwing this around all over on people, and then they get thrown aback when somebody does like what I just did, call them a leftoid or call them some other name. Right. It's the same shit. You're just it's just reductive language. You're reducing that person's entire worldview or their life experience to one term and throwing them away.
I have a point of order.
Okay.
Go ahead. My hand is up, by the way.
Go ahead.
Is Ben's people considered good?
Ben's people?
Yeah, libtards.
Which people? Oh, I didn't know. I didn't know if you meant half bear people. I didn't know where we were going with that. Considered good? Not by me, but by them, I'm sure they are.
Ben, do you consider I'm not talking about liberals, of course. I'm talking about progressives, extreme leftists. Do you consider them to be good people, Ben?
I consider them well-intentioned.
Boy, talk about his frickin' reach around, Ben.
Well, very diplomatic answer.
Hey, it's only bad if he does it wrong.
That's true.
So to my brother Thundero's credit, right, where him and I've had some terse conversations, and I've never called him, homophobic or anything. I Thundero, am I always good at entertaining the conversation, right?
Yes.
And being in deep, right? So I've never used any reductive language on you in any form or fashion. Right?
Correct.
And so when you try to say is a very broad group of people largely good or bad, I think that's a really difficult question, right? That like if you ask me if conservatives are good or bad, I wouldn't give you a reductive answer to that either. I would also say I think conservatives by and large are well-intentioned. I don't like all of the stuff that they do, but
Oh, okay. You're
I
getting too broad. I was very narrow in my point. Let me make it a little
oh, you're
easier for you.
progressive. That's
In the
very broad.
broadest sense of the term, are the Taliban good or bad?
There you go. Good point.
Okay, I would say bad.
All right.
Yeah.
So in the broadest sense of the term, are Antifa good or bad?
In the broadest sense of the term. I would say bad.
Yeah. That's my
I like
point.
that.
But progressives and Antifa aren't the same thing. That's not equatable. I know that they might
Uh-oh.
be in your
Uh-oh.
perspective, but I don't think that's a
So
fair equation.
okay, so you're not going to put old Chunk Uger in there?
That's one
Chunky
person.
boy.
You're talking about you're using one to
He
describe a
has a
large group.
huge following of crazies. Thank you very
That's
much.
Doesn't
He
true.
have
is
to be
he
your
he
fault.
is simply retarded. He is a special kind of retard.
Wow, is Grimlock
Yeah,
coming to my defense?
yes, because
Here
Cenk
for
Uygur. Look, I would feel bad for anybody to have to be associated with him and that little pencil neck geek of his nephew.
Oh, he's
Oh,
worse.
Hiker.
Hassan is much
Oh, he's
worse.
way worse.
Yeah.
Born on third base and act like he knows it. He's on a fucking stream making hundreds of thousands of dollars while his mom is bringing him food. Motherfucker,
Oh,
you
dude,
don't know
he's a
nothing of
rich
the
boy.
struggle.
They're super rich boys.
He is way on the top of the list of people I would easily go to jail for if I met in person.
Yeah, fair. Yeah, he's a bad guy. But
I'm slamming his
anyway,
head straight into the wall.
we have definitely gotten off skew of this point.
bank.
But Cenk Uygur, the brown buffalo. I don't know why they came out, but I guess it works. No, I just think things have gotten really stupid, and it's not working. They're not making. They're getting less and less returns. We'll see how it goes overall monetarily, I suppose. I'm certainly noped out of it. But then again, I keep digging, and I found something just this was it Saturday when I went to go watch that stupid Michelle Yeoh movie. God, that thing sucked.
You didn't like it.
No,
You
it
didn't like it.
sucked, dude. And like I said, I really I think it's because you guys don't speak Chinese.
Oh
If
no,
you
I don't.
spoke the
That's true.
Chinese and you understood the act that was going on, you would not have liked that. I'm telling you, it was bad, dude. It was bad.
Well,
But I found the old man, and that was excellent. And you know what? There's black dudes in it, and they're really
Uh-oh.
good, dude. There's Arabic peoples in it.
No, come
and
on.
they're really good.
Ah,
I've been meaning to
jeez.
watch that because Dave was when I was listening to the Mets games at work. Every time the Mets game went to a commercial break, the first commercial was for that show. They were just advertising the fuck out of that, and I'm like, Jeff Bridges and John Lithgow. I'll give it a look.
Dude, it's freaking epic. But I mean, I've said this before. I love Jeff Bridges. I even liked him in the R.I.P.D. I loved his character in that. Absolutely adored it. But he's amazing in it. Of course, he's amazing in it. But John Lithgow, my God, dude,
They tend to
freaking
forget about him. How good he is.
he's so good, and he's so old, but it does not matter. It does not matter. But everybody in that, like I said, it's got a very diverse cast. It's not intentional. It just is the cast, right?
Mhm.
And they're all really, really good. And a bunch of people I've never heard of. They do a wonderful job. Of course, the girl I think is the luckiest. She does a really solid job, but she gets to play off frickin' John Lithgow in every scene. Thank you. Right?
But
You know what? I just thought about it, Pastor. I think we've talked about this before on the show. I just got an idea. Here's something that could use a reboot. Anybody remember the sci-fi show Mantis back in the 90s?
Oh yeah,
I
that was
do.
a cool show. I like that show. Yeah.
Can we get a reboot of that? For all the people who claim to be progressive, it literally has everything you want. A black disabled man who becomes a superhero with a powered suit.
Mm-hmm.
It was cool. It was cool back then.
Dude, his
You should
base
have gave
is
it more than 2
underwater.
seasons.
It's an underwater
Yeah.
base. It's awesome.
You can bring that back anytime you're ready.
Yeah. Do you remember that one, Ben?
Oh yeah,
That was fun, dude.
but going back to the point about Old Man, right? You were just talking about like how diverse it is and has a very diverse cast and stuff like that.
It does.
Like
yeah.
The point that goes back to my point though is that like they didn't advertise that as such,
No,
right?
No, they
And
didn't.
yeah,
They led with Bridges and Lithgow on every.
yeah. You're
And
100%
I
right,
forgot.
Ben. Yeah.
And I forgot who's the other woman. Who's the woman in it?
The lady, there's several really good ladies in it. The lady
There
who
was one
plays
that they
Lois. What?
There was at the advertisements they always like was pushing like 3 of them, so it was like Bridges, Lithgow. I think her name is Irene or something.
Well, the younger girl, she's great. The lady who plays Zoe is great. The lady who plays Jeff Bridges' wife is great. The young one and the old one. It's that's what my point is. It is diverse, but it's not intentionally so. It's just a story that is involving Afghanistan. So of course it's going to have Afghanis in it, right?
Yeah.
It's just a great story. Yeah, no, it does make sense, and Ben's 100% right. It's show don't tell, motherfuckers. Anyway, I want to go over here and show you the freaking debacle that I had to pick from. Okay, all right, my pain. You get to share it. Okay, Superman and Lois showrunner Todd Hammer confirmed show is not part of the Arrowverse. Fair enough. I watched one episode, never again, but for young ladies, I'm sure they love it. Black Adam director Yohim Koreheru, happy with October release, describes Dwayne Johnson's character as the Dirty Harry of superheroes. Fuck off. He's a villain. He's one of the most disgusting, hateable villains of all time, you dumbass. Let's see here. Dave Chappelle cancel. Of course. You know, good. Cancel him more. Cancel this man more.
I like their excuse.
Cancel
we believe in artistic expression.
Yeah, you cancel him because that's going to work out real good for you. Yeah.
I think he won at this point. It's kind of becoming his brand, isn't it?
It is. It's just you're not helping. 10 what if questions for season 2. Actually, what if is a place where I think a lot of people complain about Captain Carter. It was basically just took the female head, put it on the male body. Fair enough. But there are some interesting things in what if, and I think what if is the perfect place to put it. It's exactly where it should be.
That's where you do it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's exactly where you should be doing that shit. So I'm all for it. So that could have been fun. But I chose the other top 10 instead of this one. Once again, cancel him. Cancel this man. You get on this man. Make him millions more. Millions. Just keep in mind, Oprah, Cosby, and the other assholes of the Black Mafia tried to literally ran this man off. This man off. He went out, he hit his family, he buffed his ass out, came back, and is richer than he's ever been. You cancel this man. You go for it.
You know where he hid? You know where he hid, Chester?
Where? Ohio. Well, no, dude, go look at the history of it. Look what Oprah Winfrey tried to do to this guy. Talk about black on black crime.
I literally can drive to his house in an hour. I know right where he lives. I've been there.
To be honest, most people for some reason don't seem to recognize this, but Oprah Winfrey's entire career was built on the back of slandering black men.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know why they let that fat cow get away with it.
Well, she's way powerful, dude. She's very, very powerful.
No, she's not.
And she had the right. She used to get Harvey Weinstein, things to play with. Allegedly.
Yeah. But like I said, cancel this man, please. Make him richer. And I personally think he's a bit of a racist. I don't think he really likes white people very much. Even though he makes all his money off white people. And I think he is a little bit, but I don't give a shit. You go ahead, cancel him. Get him.
The first one to agree with you.
Get him.
He tells a lot of racial humor about other races and stuff like that.
Yeah, he does.
He would probably say I'm probably a bit racist, So.
He is, yeah, but I mean that's not the point. I don't give a shit. I could care less.
Well, as a great American, as a great American patriot once said, Hulk Hogan, we're all a little bit racist.
That's right.
That's true.
That's right. That's right. Although I don't agree with the other American who said we're all a little bit gay. I don't know who that was. Let's see. What else do I have to pick from? I use this stuff here. What do we got? Gotham Knights creative director says game does not feature the Joker. Reassures Batman's death is not a bait and switch. Sure. Talk about that. Here, but there is more. All right.
I'm glad it doesn't have the Joker in it.
Here's Jessica Alba, cutie, you little cutie. She says there's way too much white people. We need less white people. Okay.
Jessica, I hate to tell you this, but even though you're Latina, part of you getting a lot of the roles you got is because you look white.
Yeah, very white. Yeah,
Just
but
just gonna throw that out there.
she gets
Your
a
name,
pass, Grimlock. She's cute.
your name ain't exactly what most people would think when they think Latina.
Even
She used to have a booty
Ben
on her
gives her a
too.
pass.
I'm just throwing that out there.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
fair.
I like you. You're good. You're a good actress. I still like Dark
No,
Angel.
she's not
and
a good actress at all. She's really not. No,
I
really not.
for what she does, like she's not. Look, I'm not saying she's Diane Keaton or nothing, but
Oh, whoa! Slap me in the face with that one, won't you? Jesus.
ah,
But
no,
yeah. Oh, thank you, Jessica. I
but
appreciate you. YouTuber
she was a decent Sue Storm. I mean, like,
yeah, okay. Veridark condemns Saints Row reboot developers for dismissing criticisms where the fandom only request is seeing old characters back. Okay. What?
that wasn't the only thing we wanted. That game is such a dumpster fire. No.
What was the name of the
Everything-
character in the fourth one who reboots the universe? Can't remember now. But that character needed to make a return because in the lore of Saints Row, which, okay, but in the lore of Saints Row, one of the characters dies, goes to hell, takes over hell, and then meets God and asks for him to restart the universe or rebuild Earth because Earth was destroyed in Saints Row 4. So,
wasn't that Johnny?
Yeah, it was Johnny. Yeah, I couldn't remember. Johnny Gad, that's his name.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does that at the end in the DLC. That's how you get to these weird, different Saints Row universes, quote unquote, that they've been trying to put out, and they always keep fumbling.
Mhm.
And yet somehow we don't get more Johnny. We don't get to see any of the characters from the old games. It's all new characters, and it's like, okay, fine, but no one's interested. I'll tell you right now, no one's interested.
Like most people say, first of all, Saints Row was supposed to be a parody of the freaking GTA series.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the Saints were supposed to be badasses. You look at those four fools, these four hipsters in this picture. Does any of those guys look like a saint to you?
No, not threatening at all.
I don't know this game, so I'm not saying anything.
This is the one. This is the Saints Row game that the Saints Row fans waited 10 years for a new Saints Row game, and this is the bullshit they gave them.
Oh, well. Is it really bad, Ben?
No, so here's the problem: is that Saints Row, in its like inception, was designed to be a spoof, like Grimlock said, a spoof of GTA. But in its accomplishments, it grew much larger than I think even the developers like intended it or originally thought that it would, and it is its own thing now with its own fandom and its own lore and all this stuff, and it's really quite insane. It's sort of like if the Naked Gun movies all of a sudden like grew into an insane level of like lore and history and stuff like
dude,
that.
I'm all for that. Talk about
I'll tell you the best
unsinging
analogy.
Leslie Nielsen, man. Yeah.
Best analogy in movies is Fast and the Furious. How ridiculous those movies have become.
All right.
Saints Row was the same way. It just kept getting more and more absurd until literally in the fourth game, the planet of Earth is destroyed, and you have to conquer an alien empire via a Matrix-like simulation. That's the game.
Wow.
And that's what you do.
But from what I understood about it, it has like the best character customization ever.
One of them.
Did.
It's really good. Yeah.
Okay.
It was up there.
All right.
No, I mean, like, no, you're absolutely right, Thundera, because like when you break it down within the Fast and the Furious universe, they started with stealing TVs that had VCRs in them to fighting cyborgs.
Yeah.
Like by
Yeah, no.
like
Right.
the shark be jumpeth.
He
So-
be Black
Jump it.
Superman, and he was awesome. By the way, Idris Elba is badass.
He's a great
But basically that was Breakpoint on Cars, or
Yes.
Point Break
Point Break.
on Cars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it was. Yeah.
But look where it went. Oh, fair enough. I should probably try one of the old Saints Row, I guess. I almost bought it once. Let's see. Leaked character description, make giveaway plot. Whatever. We're not going to talk about that. Disney provides first look at the illegal immigrant version of National Treasure. Starring actress hints
What?
illegal immigration is a prevalent theme of the show. Well, if it doesn't have Nick Cage, no one's going to watch it. No one's going to watch you. Because it's already an established character story. It's Nick Cage's. Stop it. Okay.
And Nick Cage is like in the middle of a career renaissance too.
He is.
Perfect time
What
to
are you
throw him
doing?
into something like that.
Exactly. He's perfect for a third National Treasure. But no, but illegal immigrants, yeah, that's what we need with national treasures and illegal immigrants. Are you trying to say something? You're trying to say something. Let's see. Square
Oh
Enix real time
God.
strategy. Battlefield Chronicle release date. Okay, whatever. Let's see. Mutant Reports as the title. Yeah, no, they're not using X-Men because it's problematic. They're going to use mutants. Okay.
This is Victoria Alonso's doing, and I'm so sick of that woman. Like, for all the problems I've had with some of the other people, she's a bigger problem than Kevin Feige. She's a much bigger problem.
Wow.
Yeah, she's a bit
Look what. Yeah, no, I get your point. Look what Eltab said to Tom Taylor. Jeez, dude. Holy
I believe
shit,
it.
dude. No, I mean he just shot right across the bow, dude. Goodness gracious. Oh, here's another one. This is a good one. Disney race swaps another princess, casts singer her as Belle in ABC's live action Beauty and the Beast special. First of all, if it's animated, but it's not. It's live action. So another black Belle. They really want Belle to be black. I thought Belle was like Austrian or something.
Didn't they just do a live action Beauty and the Beast that failed?
Yeah.
No, that made lots of money.
It did make some money. To be fair, though, I don't know why they chose Emma Watson because she can't sing. It's kind of silly. All over the dubbing over here, the singing they used in Japan, the singer they used from Japan was excellent. So but the problem with this is at least this lady is a better singer. But I've listened to this and they've promoted her as being the greatest thing since Whitney Houston. She ain't all that, dude. She's nowhere near that good. Yeah,
she's decent for like her for right now, but
she can carry a tune.
But most of the good female singers in R&B right now are like all of the older ones. It's like it's still Toni Braxton and Sade whenever she feels like coming out of retirement.
Right.
And
well, maybe just give her some time. Anita Baker. Maybe she just
Sade literally says she records albums when she feels like it.
I'm talking about this girl. Maybe just give she needs some time. Maybe she's too young. Because I've heard her sing.
She's young, but like you knew some like there were certain girls you knew when they was young. Like Whitney Houston was young when she burst on the scene, and you knew it. Like Mariah was barely 18.
Well, I remember Mariah when she didn't have an ass or tits.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's how young she was.
It was like Jesus, what the hell was that you just listened to?
But she would blow you out of the water.
She did.
Still blows people out of the water.
But I guess what's
my
in my
curmudgeon
mind is,
ass.
Yeah.
When it comes to female singers, I have a very low opinion on most female singers. But Whitney Houston she was just something special, just genuinely something special. And to compare someone to her, unless it's genuinely accurate, is always going to come off as hyperbolic because she was just another level.
I'm not comparing her to that. The modern.
I know. I'm saying right. The marketing departments and stuff.
Yeah, I get that. But
it's not fair to her. Even it's not fair to this girl.
No, it's not. And what I meant by that, Grimlock, is take Christina Aguilera. Right. She was doing that pop crap for years and was absolute useless. Then all of a sudden she decided to actually sing the way she can. It was like, whoa. I mean, because Christina, even though I know she's a wreck of a human being, I get it. But she's one of her best singers of her generation, dude. Plain and simple.
She can sing, but I don't know where I would put her. She wouldn't rank in my top 10. I'll put it that.
Her girl, no. Like I said, some more work maybe. But whatever. Another race swapping, of course. I don't know why they really got to make, but they're all trying to make them all black now, I guess. Let's see here.
It's dumb. Look, you can literally make a princess story out of thin air. Just do one. Like, I know some people, there seems to be a love-hate relationship with Princess and the Frog, but I thought it was decent. Do something like that.
Yeah, it was fine.
Yeah. No, I'm like I said, I'm not a fan of this. Like, when I was a kid, they got, and I didn't know any better. That stuff, I guess back then when I saw it, didn't bother me, and I know most kids, but now, like, don't do it. It's not necessary.
Yeah, just do new stuff. There's plenty of
there's-
other stuff
there's no-
you can do. How about
You
the Princess of Sheba? How about that? Right? I know
There's a- yeah.
all you history people, she wasn't actually black, but no one else knows that. Okay. But
Even then, you could make a fictional Princess of
You
Sheba
could,
and do
you
that.
could,
I'm
yeah.
fine. I'm fine with that. Just are you that lazy? Are you really that
Yeah.
lazy?
or
Like,
a
yeah.
Kushite princess, right? Something like that, right? Of
Yes.
course, that would be cool. But Richelieu, sir, don't apologize to these people. Don't just stop it. They don't. It's the worst thing you
Stop
can do.
apologizing if you haven't
Yes.
offended somebody you know personally.
Yes.
Stop it.
This lady is doing what you said earlier. She's saying that no, James Bond should be a man, and you're right.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you see, now look at this here. She's got the sports boobies. I don't mind that.
the sports movie. God
Chester,
damn.
you are not a man of culture. It's a shame. It's a shame, sir. Wait a minute. Did you tell me your wife she's doing okay?
Oh yeah, she's bigger than average, sure. Especially here in Japan.
Yeah.
I mean, geez, she's gigantic.
Wow.
yeah. But I just so what? I can't appreciate other boobs. Thundera.
Listen, I wouldn't kick. I'm not saying I'd kick her out of bed, but no.
Look.
Let's be honest here. Bigger boobies are better boobies.
No, I've
Why
always
did
been a
I
sports
get
movie
a
guy,
feeling
Ah.
Chester is wearing a monocle as he critiques these titties?
and my spats are in the closet. That's true. But no, I've always been. I actually married a lady who was much more bigger breasted than sports movie. But it wasn't intentional. Okay. Anyway, okay. So I mean, just look at the mix of stuff I had to choose from, right? I mean, they've been trying to leave Henry Cavill behind as Superman since 2017. I believe that. Million subscribers lost for Netflix. We talked about that. This was saying that they might restore the Snyderverse, and of course, Jim Lee killed that, which is why I didn't cover that. Anyway, it just goes on and on and on with so many dumb stuff. Some of it somewhat interesting, I guess, but
I saw that horrible Battletoads remake that they reboot that they did in there.
oh right, yeah. But I don't know. We just have to be
What are they doing to
patient.
my Battletoads?
Little by little, I think we'll get some better stuff. We have been in a bit of a famine for a while, though. To be fair,
And
I
it was
think-
such a shame, especially how cool Rash looked in Killer Instinct, and you could have made the Battletoads look like that,
yeah,
and you gave a stack of crap.
yeah, fair enough. But anyway, there you go. That's what I have. Tomorrow we're going to definitely do some comic book stuff. I'm going to continue the Valiant series. Did you check out my bit on Valiant last week, Ben?
I was listening. I couldn't make it because it's hard for me to make the stream two nights in a row.
That's
you know,
okay.
and stuff like that. But no, I thought you did a really good job and covered a lot of details on that. So no, I watched it. I was listening to it as I was putting my daughter to bed.
Yeah, I'm going to continue. I'm going to get into the Acclaim era, the Bust and stuff that came after, and then I think I'll do a 4-part series. The last part will be dealing with modern Valiant, good and bad. So yeah, but
as part of like the Comic-Con stuff, did you see the D&D trailer that dropped this weekend?
no, I heard about it though, but I haven't seen it. Was it any good?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not.
No, it didn't look that good to me.
It looked. You know what it looked like? Honestly, is like what I was really kind of shocked at is it looked sort of like a spiritual successor, or like a little too close to the original D&D movie, right? Very kind of like slapsticky and jokey, and you know, it's a movie.
Ew.
They're talking about like thieves, and you know, they got to steal a thing that helps the bad guy accidentally or something like that. It's like, I don't know. It was really weird. I was like, it feels like too close to the original. It's like, I thought you guys would have tried to distance yourselves a bit more, because holy crap, that just, I don't know. I was just disappointed. I was hoping for something more. We'll see. Again, I like to reserve judgment until, you know, we actually see the movie, but I was less than impressed.
Well, let's watch it. Shall we watch
Yeah.
it? I'm going to watch
Go
it.
for it. Yeah.
Ooh, it's got a trailer before the trailer, though.
I know,
Those
I
are
hate
always
that.
good. Honor Among Thieves.
Here's the thing. We're a team of thieves.
Oh, Chris Pine. Okay.
And when you do this,
why are they always doing the thief
make
things?
Somebody in Hollywood has a real foot fetish.
Oh, that's badass though. That's badass. The acid drop. Oh my God. Okay. Okay. Ooh, we got some nice music though. A little bit of Zeppelin.
We help the wrong person.
That's their budget right there. Oh, Jesus, man, I see exactly what you're saying, dude. It's like someone said we could do the first one better.
How do we pull that off?
Right. It feels that way.
Figure it out over a drink?
Dude, even the similar settings.
Give us a fighting
chance. Right.
We're gonna need strength. You got this, right?
I swear there's a character that looks like the blue-lipped dude in this.
We also need courage.
Is it these idiots and their wink shit?
And you.
Oh, Owlbear. Oh, God. Okay. That's love right there. No, that's pure love right there. Owlbear's, that's not an owlbear, that's a shapeshifter.
The druid. Wild chicken.
Yeah.
I'm glad he's on our side.
Hey, they're doing like the fucking maze again.
No, dude. Nice mimic though. There is some love here. Oh, a Displacer Beast. Dude, there's some love here for the D&D people though. There is.
There's love. I'm not going to deny that, but like, it just feels so like tonally very close to the first movie, to the D&D movie, and it just.
I make plans.
You've already made the plan, so.
If the existing plan fails, I make a new
No,
plan.
dude, you're exactly right. You're exactly right. There's Damon Wayans right there as an elf. Holy shit, dude! What? Okay, I understand the whole stream just got canceled, but I don't care. But oh my, especially Paramount Picture, they'll definitely claim. But dude, you're exactly right. They're trying to remake the original movie, but saying, hey, we can do it better. First of all, we are dungeon explorers or murder hobos, not thieves. Get it right.
Fucking sellswords, mercenaries. Like, you don't have to, like, it doesn't have to be, like, if I was directing it, I would be like, you know what? Thieves, the concept of being thieves and, like, being centered on thieves was a big part of the first film. We want to distance ourselves. It's okay to have a rogue character in there who does roguish things, but, like, just be some fucking sellswords, some mercenaries and stuff like
Dude,
that.
it's just people who don't know D&D.
You know what's crazy?
Thinking, oh, D&D
you know what's
is
crazy?
this.
You know what's crazy? I would say, and I'm not a big D&D guy, as you know, Chester, but I would say the best conceptually D&D movie ever made was Ocean's 11. Because it was a collection of a party to complete a task. Now, granted, they still stole, but conceptually, that's what you're doing in D&D. You bring your party together, you all have different traits and abilities, and you go in and conquer the dungeon or whatever.
Once
the
again,
hell.
you've proven that you don't know what D&D is. Fair enough. You admit it. So, yes, no. Here's the thing, Thundera. At least you understand you're not a D&D guy. What you
never will be.
is you go back and you could choose multiple storylines, but I'll give you one, the Crystal Shard. Take the book, put it in the film, you dumbass. Simple. Done.
There's so much good stuff in Forgotten Realms or Dragonlance or Greyhawk, like whatever you want to do. There's like really good stuff out there, really good stories.
1,000 books, dude. 1,000 books, easy.
1,000 books, 1,000 books, a ton of history, and you know, unlike Tolkien, there's I think a lot more wiggle room here.
A lot more.
Right?
Yeah,
they've had a lot of different writers do a lot of different stuff. Things have been retconned. There's a lot of more mobility in those storylines and stuff like that. So, and the thing is like they went slapsticky with it, and I don't know. It again, slapsticky would have been okay if we hadn't already had a slapsticky film that was like very cringe and awful, right?
Yeah.
So it feels like the first film, and I'm like, holy shit! Yeah. Wouldn't you want to get away from that?
Yeah. It doesn't mean it won't be fun, but it's not gonna be the D&D guys aren't gonna love it. But it doesn't mean it won't be fun. But you're 100% right, dude. And it's there's so much, like I just mentioned, the Crystal Shard. What do you get out of that? Well, you get multiple characters introduced. You could do the whole trilogy, but you introduce there Wulfgar and Dritz Do'Urden. right?
Right.
And you can spin off into, because Dritz is a mega popular character, Will Salvatore, right? And there you go. It's not a white guy writing it. Aren't you happy? But you could get a whole bunch of Dritz stuff. You get Wolfguard stuff. You could go over and do some Iron Throne stuff. You could do some of Margaret Weiss's stuff, which is freaking epic with the Dragon Lance. I just don't understand why we are still thieves, because D&Ders are not thieves. And they keep doing this. They just don't know what D&D is, and it's like, dude, put someone in charge of your continuity who actually plays the game. For fuck's sake, there must be somebody there, because what do we get? I saw an owl bear. Thank you, love. I saw it, but it was not a real one. It was just a druid shapeshifting, right? We got a displacer beast. Thank you very much. What else did I see in there? I saw a mimic.
Yeah, I think I saw Magic Missile being cast.
Magic Missile. I saw a black dragon. I saw a copper dragon. I think that was.
Yeah.
But so clearly there's some people from the D&D say you're gonna have this as they pushed up their glasses, and that's all. And they listened to him for 5 minutes, and that's all they did. And Chris Pine playing a comedy bard. What? What really? Is that the image that comes in your mind when you think Chris Pine is comedic bard?
The weird thing is, and again, like it's like the first fucking film, like there's nothing specifically D&D-ish or medieval looking about it. It looks like he just grew up like a bit of a facial hair, right? Like he still has like the Star Trek haircut going on. It's like, what? I don't understand. I don't like. How do I reconcile like this being sort of a fantasy epic when it just looks like he shot it on the weekend in between like trips to go surfing or something? I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. Although that black dragon is awesome, dude. Look at that.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
even got
it
the
looks
acid
like,
breath right. Oh, dude, please.
it looks like the first film with just better graphics.
Yeah, actually, the third one was the best one.
Yes, I would agree with that. That one was a legit, like, decent film. I mean, it's super low budget, right? You know.
Yeah, but it was good. Yeah.
I think the best D&D film is the fan-made film Gamers 2: Darkness Rising. That is the best D&D film from a lore perspective, and it's slapsticky. It's funny and stuff like that, but it does the genre like honest. Like, what is it? What is D&D about? About the group experience. All that stuff.
I get your point, but you and I both know that when D&Ders sit down and we have the mood music, it's frickin' Conan the Barbarian. We both know.
Yeah.
That's
they
what
use
we're
a lot
after.
of the Witcher 3 music nowadays.
That's fine.
That's the big ambiance.
Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, no, that's fair. That'll work. The little was that a halfling? Is this a halfling druid?
I don't know. I don't think she's a halfling.
She's something. Is she?
You know what she looks like? Is a giant fucking ripoff of Caliph from Critical Role.
Yeah, she does, doesn't she? Yeah, she does.
I would actually. I don't know if that's like. I would be worried about some copyright infringement there. So I don't know.
And here's the thing in D&D as well, Ben. Here's a place. I think that's a copper dragon. Here's a place that you can do all your diversity, and it's no problem, right? It's D&D. There's no restriction. Is she supposed to be a tiefling? Dude, she's a tiefling.
No, she's an Ashari. I'm telling you, she's an Ashari.
Maybe she is. Yeah, no, you're probably right. But Jesus, I have to say with Chris Pine, he's never been much to me. But the ladies really seem to like him, however, because the most thirsty moment in the history of thirsty was watching Gal Gadot bite her lip while having a conversation with Chris Pine and actually realizing how thirsty she looked and trying to back it up. It was the most thirsty moment ever. And I'm like, really? Chris Pine's that sexy, ladies? I guess he is. I guess so, dude. I never.
Captain Kirk.
Because she doesn't bite her lip around old Henry.
Because Henry's too good for her and she knows it.
Well, I don't know, but I mean, did Chris get a piece of that? I'm curious if Chris got a piece of that, because she was already wet and willing, dude. Woo! Damn! Do you guys see that interview I'm talking about? Damn!
I did not.
Yeah.
The weird thing with my boy
I'm sure
Henry,
the husband liked watching that.
Oh, I'm sure he's
is
pissed.
Henry seems like one of these dudes that actually genuinely does have trouble with women, just because of what I just said. They all think he's way out of their league,
Maybe.
so they don't even try. Like they won't even approach him, or if he approaches them, they'll get weird. Like a lot of guys do when a really hot chick talks to them, they just kind of melt, right? Like like that happens. Yeah.
Right.
But
Let me
I
see
bet
if
that
I can
happens to him.
find it. Let's see. How should I look here?
Yeah,
Gal Gadot thirsty for.
There it is. It was one of them too. His thirst Chris Pine was one of the options.
Yeah, that was the first one.
There we go. Dude, it's like, wow, dude. Men, pay attention. Pay attention.
This is
Yes,
a 10-minute
just have
video.
perfect genetics, and the women will love you. Yes.
I guess women are just all about the Chris Pine. Here it is. This woman, Gal Gadot, dude, she knows it too. She catches herself. The ladies are all about Chris, though. Oh, damn, Chris. I wonder if he got in that though. I wonder what kind of dude he is.
I bet so. Yeah.
Oh, look at that,
That's,
dude. There's a lot of dudes that would love to see that face from Gal Gadot toward them, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, she is smitten, dude. She is smitten, and he plays it so cool, dude. Look at him. He knows it, and he's just sitting there. Yeah, just being a serious actor.
Yeah,
She
whatever,
realizes.
yeah.
Look at her looking down. She's ashamed. She's like, okay, let me try to suck this bow. They should have kept going. Damn girl. But Chris, though, you got a 10-minute video women thirsting over him. I didn't know he was that hot, dude. I didn't know.
It's the eyes. It's those eyes. That's what it is. Those pretty eyes. He's got those pretty eyes. Women are suckers for pretty eyes.
All right. Alrighty then. I got beautiful eyes. That might be it. That's why I get
That
the
could
old
be it.
ladies. The old ladies.
Chester. I got beautiful hair, so I get the looks too, just because I check my hair out. So
yeah, well,
I get that move.
I was very jealous of Jeff Bridges watching the old man because he's got the most awesome, thick, beautiful, godlike hair. Yeah.
Good on Jeff. Didn't he nearly die recently? Like he had really bad
cancer. And he did. Yeah, he did.
Overcame it.
Oh, Gal, it's funny if you watch. They kind of cut it. If you watch the whole clip, she catches herself thirsting over him. She's instantly shamed, and she tries to suck it back up. Right?
She's very married, Chester.
Yes, I know, but she knows she's done screwed up.
You're a billionaire, if I remember correctly.
But she, fair enough. But that's got to be that look on her face, man. And those of you who know, you know.
Yeah. Gentlemen, if a woman ever looks at you like that, just hope you aren't married, or she's not married. Hope somebody both people in that equation aren't married, because, woo, she's ready to go.
She is ready to go, dude. She's ready to go right there. Matter of fact, she's wanting to leave that interview right then. But Eric, no, go away, Eric. Bad Eric, bad. Mazes and Monsters, best D&D movie.
Oh boy.
Yeah. I am very excited for D&D-esque the Baldur's Gate game whenever they ever finish it. Well, you can get it now, but
there's another example. Why don't they make a Baldur's Gate run? They had some really good stuff with the Baldur's Gate series you could turn into a movie, dude.
You know what I'm upset at, Chester? The druid shapeshifts into an owlbear when they can't shapeshift into owlbears in the game. Like,
no, they can't. It has to be a natural creature. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, already they're fucking shit up.
They are, dude.
Fucked up the lore already, right out of the gate.
But I'll take it because I get an owlbear on screen.
Owlbears are cool. I'll give you that.
For 5 seconds, anyway. But Eric is just poking the bear. But anyway, we're going to wrap it up here today. That was fun. Interesting stuff. D&D, man, I don't know. No one takes us serious, Ben. They just don't take us seriously.
I mean, I'm used to that, so
yeah.
And they probably shouldn't take me seriously for a reason.
You nerds, you D&D nerds.
Why is it that we're the nerdiest of all nerds? Why are we on the bottom of the totem, Ben? Why?
I'm just used to being on the bottom of the totem. Like, there's that nerd hierarchy of nerds who look down on other nerds. Like, at least I don't play Magic the Gathering, or at least I don't play this and that. And I'm like, Christ, I'm into all of it. I have no one I can look down on.
That's fair. It's fair. Yeah,
He's
me
just
too.
swimming at the bottom of the ocean. He's just living
pretty
there.
much it.
No, me and Ben are
That's
both down there
very
together,
well.
dude. We are. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're into all that nerdy shit. But anyway, thank you all very much. That was fun. Come back tomorrow. We'll be talking about more Comic Centris, like I said, more Valiant stuff. The third installment. But awesome. Ben, give your closing comments, please, sir.
You know, despite of what we all talk about here, there's just a lot of good stuff to watch, stuff on
Sure.
the streaming platforms and what have you. And so, don't feel bad for enjoying what you enjoy. It's all out there, and it's all personal perspective.
That's true. That's true. Adrian says, my wife looks at me like that all the time. Good on you, Adrian. I still get it from my wife. Married almost 30 years. I still get that look from time to time. Yeah. How about you, Ben?
Oh, I'm happy to say that's one of the reasons I'm still a happily married man, is get it on a fairly regular basis. And
Yeah, that's nice. Well, no, but no, it's nice when you get that look from your lady every now and then. It is nice, dude.
It's nice to not just be constantly like the one chasing, but like, you know what I mean, right?
Yeah,
like,
yeah, no,
you know.
I do know. I got that look just the other day, Thundero.
That's good.
I
I'm
did.
proud of you.
Yes.
I'm very proud of you.
And then, but the
especially
problem
especially since you're a very Caucasian man, and you know Caucasian men age like mud, and your wife is very much of the Japanese descent, so she's probably still very beautiful at her age. Yeah, that's good, Chester. I'm happy for you.
Thank you. I actually age like a fine wine, sir. I am beautiful, man. I am beautiful. But that's actually one of the things that never made sense to me, but I don't argue the point because I'm smart. My wife has always thought that I was much more beautiful than her.
Oh,
she's wrong,
but
good. I don't tell her that. You see,
she's definitely wrong. I've seen you.
Yeah,
There's
she's
no
definitely
way.
wrong.
I don't believe it.
Yeah, but that's her mindset. Yeah. Thank you, Ben. Thank you for the support. But yeah, that's true. That is true. But anyway, Grimlock.
Well, we are almost out of July. What Comic-Con is over. The D23 stuff is out.
Actually, it wasn't Comic-Con. It was Board Game Top Game Con.
Yes.
I guess so, because I didn't see all that much that caught my attention. I'm surprised Claremont's bringing Extreme X-Men back.
Well, he isn't.
I want to see how that goes.
Isn't he doing something with someone on his own comic book or something like that?
He's doing a Gambit miniseries currently.
Oh, but I heard he was doing starting his own comic book company up with somebody. I mean, anyway, go ahead.
I don't know if he is. I'm interested to see how that goes, because that could be interesting if he has an idea what he wants. But
yeah, all right.
I'm still waiting for my Mezco Morbius to arrive. Sitting by the mailbox like a dog.
There you go, as you should. Awesome. Thank you very much, guys, and we'll see you all tomorrow. And Thundero takes out of here, man.
This one, because what Adrian just said, this popped, literally just this moment popped into my head. Chester, you'll probably know this. Ben might know it, and I know my boy Grimlock knows it. It's a song. I'm not going to sing it. Trust me, you don't want to hear that. But anybody who ever wants, if you ever get married, there's a song out there for every man that's good advice. If you want to be happy for the rest of your life, don't make a pretty woman your wife. Now that doesn't mean you don't marry. That doesn't mean you marry an ugly woman. It means you don't marry one who knows she's pretty, or you do marry one who doesn't know she's pretty. Mm-hmm. Because if she thinks you're the pretty one of the group, you got her.
Oh yeah, that's true. Namaste indeed. Later, everybody.